1987's Mega Man was a complete non-success. It sold okay, fine even, but it wasn't enough to jumpstart a major franchise. Nonetheless, Capcom gave the okay for the dev team to begin working on a sequel. As a compromise, they incorporated unused assets from the original, and created the sequel while still working on other projects, within a heavily constrained time frame of only a few months. The result was Mega Man 2. While borrowing heavily from its predecessor, Mega Man 2 took things to the next level by introducing not 6, but 8 new robot masters for our hero to overcome, each with their own brand new unique weapon. 2 was also the first time Mega Man got additional non-weapon abilities to use to make stage traversal easier, and his first chance to collect health-restoring E-tanks. So was it worth Capcom's time letting them create a sequel to a game that wasn't a hit? Yeah, buddy. Mega Man 2 became the best-selling NES game in the series, moving over 1.5 million units globally. It solidified Keiji Inafune's design influence and led to way more sequels and spin-offs. The game itself, along with Takashi Tateishi's soundtrack, are still remembered fondly as arguably the best in the entire series. Suit up and pick a robot, because on today's episode, we're upping the ante with Mega Man 2. It's a video game podcast.
Wow.
And there's so much to discuss. One of us knows all about them.
That's you.
And the other one's a dunce.
That's me.
You're gonna learn about the very best games with 2 annoying dorks.
Fatality.
From asteroids to Zelda, from adventure to Zork. We have no life, and we feel no shame. We need your help, 'cause we're bad with games. Bad with games. Welcome to the show. My name is Jonathan.
My name is Will.
And together we are Bad with Games. I added together.
Yeah, we did it a little differently this time. Is this our new opening? This is how we do it from now on?
Well, this week I just jostled my desk. It might have made a sound. This week it's together because there's 2 of us for Mega Man 2.
Whoa. Mega Man 2. I am kind of a Mega Man in a way. People have called me that before.
We're 2 mans.
Uh-huh.
Are you sure they weren't calling you a Mega Man? They might have seen just your general demeanor and your appearance and just assumed.
I don't know why they would
Has
assume
anyone ever done that? Has there been a Mega Man parody? That feels funny.
It does feel funny.
That feels funny to me.
Is this like a tee up? Like I'm gonna see there's a secret song at the end of this episode I'm not ready for.
God, I wish, but there isn't. Ladies and gentlemen and children of all ages, this week we are discussing Mega Man 2, developed and published by Capcom, released on the Nintendo Entertainment System in 1988. That's just, for those of you keeping track at home, just 1 year after the first Mega Man, which we already talked about in a previous episode last season. Now we've returned. We're back. We're back for more.
Sorry, I stopped listening to you for a second there. But yeah, we're back.
That's okay.
Yes. Back for more Mega Man.
Oh, more Mega Man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Many more Mega Man.
Yeah, that's the acronym.
Many more Mega Man make marry me.
Why not make me merry?
Because I didn't think of that word first. If you'd like to watch us play Mega Man 2 this week, you can check us out on YouTube at Bad With Games, or you could just listen to us, the audio versions, wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget, we've got a Patreon, patreon.com/badwithgames. If you like the show, you want to support us and keep us going. If you want to really mega make us merry, just $5 a month, you get bonus episodes every week, plus our Discord channel and more. Really fun over there.
Yeah. We celebrate Mega Monday.
Oh, yeah, we often do celebrate Mega Monday.
Yeah. I mean, this is the perfect week to get in on that.
Does it feel to you like it's been a long time since we played the first Mega Man, or does it feel like not that long ago?
I
I'm
hmm.
c-
That's a good question. It kind of feels like both.
yeah,
It's hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It does kind of feel like it's been how long has it been?
We did Mega Man last November. It's now April, so it's
Jeez.
been
Yeah,
like
so it
6
has been
months.
it's been a long time. Okay, yeah. Like
In
longer
fact,
than
it's
I
been almost exactly 6 months.
wow.
Yeah, that's weird. Well, let's start there. We're gonna learn each
Mhm.
other's lore right now.
Learn each other's lore.
Of course, you're the one who's not good with games. A lot of these things
Right.
are new for you. You're experiencing these for the first time. This is not our first sequel that we've played, not by a long shot, my friend. However, I might go so far as to say, skimming over our past list. I know those two words mean different things. I would say that probably this is the most similar sequel to its original that we've played so far. You know, Mario 2 and Zelda 2
Mhm.
shake things up in weird ways. I mean, we played Mortal Kombat 1 and 2, but that was the same episode.
Yeah, yeah. That doesn't count. Like in terms of things we've actually split up. Yeah, Final Fantasy shook things up more than this probably, right? Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I
no,
think so.
yeah, I think this is the most similar to its original for sure, from my perspective, especially.
So what was that like for you going in? I mean, I guess I'm just cutting to
Yeah, I
the
mean,
a little bit to the
yeah, I was
game,
gonna say
but
that this feels more like what we're talking about, not our lore. Although I don't know that I have much lore to add to this, right?
right.
Like if you've listened to the other uh whatever episode, what is this
Podcast?
called? Mega
Yeah,
Man, the other
episode.
Mega Man episode. Then you'll have heard like my background pre-show. I mean, I do think that it is worth reminding listeners that I did like the original Mega Man. I rated it relatively highly. Um, I like I gave what was it? It was in the eights somewhere.
8.4.
8.4. Yeah, I rated it relatively highly, and I did like a lot of what was going on with Mega Man. I was a Mega Man fan, so like I think that's worth um knowing kind of coming into this that like I did like that was the formula and I did like the formula.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I'll remind listeners that I love the OG Mega Man games. I'm a
Mhm.
fan.
Yeah, as I
I'm not an OG.
recall, last
Mhm.
time you might have docked some points off of that Mega Man because you didn't think what was it? It was like you didn't think the power-ups were as interesting as they could be or something like that. Like you knew that the series had more places to go that it hadn't gone, and for me that was less of a factor because I couldn't engage as much with the power-ups. I was more just like failing at the levels before getting them.
Yeah, I think that was one
Something like that.
aspect, but I think generally I just had I expressed the opinion that I knew things were going to get better
Mhm.
from there. So I was
Okay.
a little bit more reserved, although I still gave it an 8.1.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I
you
was
know,
just trying to remember like the specifics of what you said so that we can like piggyback off of that for this episode.
beautiful. Previously on Bad with Games. I don't know why that was
Yeah,
the
don't
voice.
do that again.
Well, Mega Man 1 also has an infamous box art. We
Yes.
discussed it at length.
Hmm.
Uh, Mega Man 2 has a box art not as infamous, but we still do need to break it down.
Yes, I'm looking at some box arts to break down, and once again we have two box arts. We've got a Japanese Rockman box art, and we've got an American release. It appears to me.
Yes. I don't know why. Now, people could argue, well, you could do this for many games that have different marketing in different locations. We did it for the first Mega Man because they have different actual titles, so I thought that was interesting to contrast them.
Hmm.
Maybe we don't have to do it every time we do a Mega Man game. I don't know, but I kept the tradition going for number
Hmm.
2. But let's look at that American and I believe also the European box art for Mega Man 2. So we are still, just like the original, for anyone who's not looking at this in our video, It is still employing a certainly a more realistic art style than what is depicted in the game itself.
Yeah.
We are seeing what looks like clearly a man wearing like a skin tight blue bodysuit with a helmet.
Yeah, kind of a like Flash Gordon style face, would you say maybe?
Sure.
Like, right? Like, look at that expression. Yeah, it's evident. It's a more realistic style for sure.
Kind of shooting a Flash Gordon-esque pistol as well.
Mm-hmm.
Holding a pistol, not an arm cannon. He has a gun in his hand.
That's right.
He's shooting at, I believe that's Quickman. And in the background, you see, I guess it's Dr. Light, but maybe it's supposed to be Dr. Wily. I'm not really sure. It looks like he's either hiding behind or instructing another Crash Man or Flash Man, or who the fuck that is. I don't know the difference between them.
I think that's which one was which? I think maybe that one's
who has
Crash
drill
Man?
hands.
Yeah, who does have drill hands? That's the real. I mean, I'm trying to go by his weird visor thing, but of course they made that realistic, so it looks different.
Yeah,
does anyone
has
have
a visor?
Drill hands? Who has drill hands?
I think it's Crash. I do think it's Crash Man.
Okay. Yeah, he can break through walls, but he does bombs to
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Because if he was it doesn't make sense. I don't know.
What do you think? Is this box art, how does it compare to the original? Would you say this is better or worse or the same?
That's a good question. Ooh, in the manual, Crash Man, who is called Clash Man in the manual, does have drill hands. So it must be him.
There you go. I think he has them in the game too. The problem is, I just like those boss fights last 10 seconds. I don't fucking remember. What they look like.
If it's not his weapon, then it doesn't. It's
right.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Certainly in some ways the quality is higher on this, but in other ways that makes it less iconic, because I don't really think that this art is very good. Like, I don't think that it being better has elevated it to the realm of being good. There's a lot of, it's so odd. It's got this weird style where, like, Mega Man is, like, too smooth to be this realistic, but too, like, lumpy and muscular to be cartoony. And, like, everybody in it kind of looks like that. His face is weird. Things don't, like, the styles don't quite cohere. Quickman's face is weird. What's going on with his foot? He's like juking himself. He's like breaking his own fucking ankle here for no reason.
That looks really painful.
Yeah, that is not a good. What is happening here?
It seems clear that he was drawn before the background was put in place. Like, he doesn't feel like he's a part of that stage.
Yes, that's also true. I mean, what background could you put over this stance, though, to make that foot look natural?
A guy's pulling it.
Yeah.
It's caught in a bear trap.
Yeah, I mean, you are right. Him and Quickman, they both look like that was just drawn, and then somebody did a background behind them.
Somebody at Capcom said, "We want to see the sole of his boot. Face it out."
Yeah. Give me those mega boots.
For free?
The mega bootster.
The whole thing to me has the vibe of, I don't know, I want to say a softcore gay porn. Doesn't it seem like all they photographed male models for this that are just kind of like Playgirl, like male, like they're buff, but in like kind of a weird way. Like, you don't really like how buff they are.
I see. Yeah.
Like, maybe they're just like thick and stout, and they all have these grimaces on their face.
Yeah. I could see that. They're specifically thick in a way that's, not necessarily appealing to the male gaze. I mean, this is a question, because I don't know if you, like, women out there, gay men out there, if you're into dudes, I mean, does this Go look at the American box art from Mega Man 2. Tell me, does this turn you on? Is this what you're into? Like, do you look at this and go, damn, I want to take a bite of that thigh?
This is a
God
great
damn.
question. Yeah, that's something to know. That's
I mean,
something we need to know.
it's not doing it for me, I'll say that.
No, me neither.
It's a little off-putting for me.
But hey, we're incredibly hetero men.
Right. Oh, yes, absolutely. You will not find any clips of me on this show lusting over men on video game covers, so don't go looking for those.
Sorry, fellas. Sorry to disappoint you. I know we have a lot of fans out there,
Mm-hmm.
but not this time. Anyway, it is sort in a way better than it's not atrocious like the original. It doesn't stand out in a way that immediately you're bursting out laughing.
Right. I mean,
But it's still, why did they after Mega Man 1 didn't sell that well? So like, why did they not change course? Why did they go, this is still the thing that's going to work, is this realistic holding a gun thing?
Yeah, it is odd. Like, why, at that point, you do think, damn, people love the cutesy Mario shit. The first one didn't do that well. Let's try the Japanese thing. They're doing the cutesy Mario shit. Maybe that'll work. It is weird.
I did see a quote from the artist that said something along the lines of, Capcom like didn't tell me what this game was.
Was it? I mean, wasn't that for the first one? I remember you saying something like that for the first one. Did they do that again?
Yes, they both had similar. I think the first one was a little more. It was like he had to draw it in one night or something.
Right, right. Yeah, I remember this now. You said something like that.
Yeah, once again, whoever drew this was just kind of in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
They were like guessing. I guess this is a Mega Man. I don't know. I didn't play it.
Yeah, he's like blue. He shoots.
Now, the Japanese cover, of course, which is Rockman 2, his Japanese name, very similar to the first Rockman. It just has more robots on it, basically.
Yeah,
it's a cute little Rockman surrounded by robot masters.
Yeah, they're all that same cutesy smile. I mean, I do like Rockman's smug face on here. He's got a nice little, like, I don't know.
DreamWorks face?
Not quite. He's not quite doing the eyeballs, but like the way his mouth has that slight upturn, like it's good. I like it. Yeah, I mean, mostly it is just kind of like looking at the robot masters on these. Hot Man or whatever he's called has pretty good eyes and face. Heat Man.
Come on. You're thinking of the first cover was Hot Man.
Right. Woodman here looking pretty sultry, I gotta say.
Yeah, wood man. More like wood. Damn. You know, like wood man.
I mean, I do like this cover. I like this style. I liked this style last time as well. It's good.
I don't like it.
I'm gonna
tell you, I liked the first one. Now I feel like it's just the same thing but busier. It's too there's just too much stuff. They're all piled together with just their heads. They didn't even draw their bodies. It's literally a giant gray silhouette with their heads on it.
I mean, it is just their heads, but like, I don't know. I like the faces. These faces are fun.
It's okay. I mean, it is still better than the American one. Airman is cool. Yeah. Airman's one of the coolest designs because he doesn't just look like a guy.
Yeah, Airman is cool. He's a big fan.
The castle in the background. I do like Dr. Wily's castle, but
oh yeah,
I mean that is
nice.
It's from the game, not the box art.
And it is also pretty obscured, right? Like you are mostly looking at these Robot Master faces that, like, it's not like you're like, oh yeah, there's these Robot Masters in the foreground, and then in the background there's this cool castle. Like I could have missed this entirely.
Quick, man, get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah,
down in front.
I still like it.
All right. Have we broken down these box arts enough?
I think so, probably. Why not?
Okay, good. It's time to get to Mega Man 2 proper, and I'm going to return to the question I was dancing around earlier when I was trying to skip ahead. For you, as a guy who liked the first Mega Man, and as a guy who, my hypothesis, I suppose, you'll tell me if this is true, is that maybe more than any other sequel or genre continuation we've experienced, more of what you learned from the first go around, you might be able to apply in the second go around. I mean, we should also say during our 24-hour stream, you also played some of the Mega Man Game Boy game.
Hmm.
So, so you've had a little Mega Man experience that is, I think, probably more directly applicable than, again, whatever you learned in Zelda 1 did not apply to Zelda 2, really.
It,
And in some ways it did, but controls
that's
wise, it's a one-to-one,
yes.
really.
Yes, that is sort of true. For sure. Um I did find that there were some subtle differences that made a big difference for me in the way that the game like played. But in general, what you're like, things didn't quite necessarily play out the way you would expect given that, but I do think that these are very similar. Like, so if we're talking about like the level that I was playing at, or what I was doing is I was just like, let's see if I can get to a robot master, right? Um the big at all, because it's kind of hard, some of them I can't do, whatever. The big differences at that level, when we're not really talking about like what are all the power-ups you can get. Um the most notable differences between this and the first one are there is now a password system. So if you beat a level, you can come back on a later sitting and not have to beat the level again. Um there is oh, what was I gonna say?
Difficulty
There's
option.
difficulty options. That's the other one. There is normal and difficult, which you told me that difficult was the original and they added in normal.
Correct. In the Japanese version, there are no options. America and Europe they lied and said, "Oh,
Hmm.
normal is difficult and easier is normal," to, I guess, to make it more accessible to American audiences. But it is a little confusing to me since at
Hmm.
this time, like all games were hard as shit.
Right.
So, like, why this one did they decide was too hard? I don't
Yeah, it's
know.
interesting for sure. Yeah, I mean that is because I don't
By the way,
necessarily
I
think
don't
that it's
think.
wrong to call this normal and the other one difficult. Like it doesn't feel like,
Mm.
oh, it's so baby easy. Why did they call it normal? But you're also right that all games were hard. So like weird. Um
I don't think any other Mega Mans have difficulty options either. I don't think they
mm.
keep that going forward. Maybe for the newer ones, but I could be totally wrong, but I don't know.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah, interesting. And I mean, there are some other differences too in terms of like what are the power-ups? What are some of the things that you can unlock? I think you can't replay Robot Master levels. There's like energy tanks dropping, which I how much of a difference did that make? I'm not sure.
right.
Some maybe?
E-tanks, they're basically like if you keep one, you can use it to heal yourself fully.
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's like a fairy, if you will. For anyone
Yeah.
who isn't familiar, just to recap, Mega Man is a side-scrolling platformer shooter.
Mm-hmm.
And in Mega Man 2, you're presented with 8 robot masters. You can choose to face their levels in any order that you want. Every time you beat one, you get its weapon. And generally, those weapons are super effective against a different robot master.
Mm-hmm.
So, ideally, you would be kind of experimenting and trying to figure out which weapon do I need to beat which robot and fight them in that order. The other big thing in this sequel is there are now items you unlock that aren't just weapons. So there's 3 of them. One of them is like you can make platforms. One is you can make an elevator that goes up high. And the final one is you can make, I mean, they're all making platforms. They just move in
Mm-hmm.
different ways. One you can make like 3 at a time. One just makes one that goes high, and one zooms across the screen. So you could like bypass a pit or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And all these things, all your weapons and abilities take their own energy, and you can swap between them on the fly and try to find energy for them within each level, and so on and so on.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So I mean, in terms of these, For me, the biggest differences were the difficulty and the password system, for sure, in terms of like what is affecting me and
Which
my
is funny
gameplay.
because for me, the passwords
Yeah.
didn't affect me at all because I just kept going. I just didn't turn it off until I beat it. So for me, there might as
Right.
well have been
But
saves.
you also are probably at a point where you're not saying like, okay, there's 8 levels. If I want to beat one of these levels, that's probably 30 minutes, right? So like you're not sitting down and being like, okay, well, I played for like 40 minutes or so. I beat a level, I got stuck on another level. I'm probably done for now. I'll come back later and maybe try to beat a different level, right? Like that probably, if you were playing for an hour, you'd probably be a large portion of the way through these and not like I didn't get that far yet, right?
Yeah, I actually, because partially I just started recording everything and then was curious, and I did. I basically recorded my entire playthrough for this game, which I normally don't do. Normally I just pick
Mhm.
and choose because it's too long. No, and I'm not going
Mhm.
to use all that footage, so what's the point? But this game isn't super long, and I started to be curious after the first couple levels. I wanted to know how much time I actually spent on each
Mhm.
robot boss. But we can maybe talk about that a little bit later. But I'm curious for you, how did you approach this game? What did you like? Where did you go first? Was there a specific robot you tried to beat, or did you just try a few? Because I think the manual for this game
Mhm.
kind of leads you in a direction. I wonder if you took that direction.
I did see that direction. I didn't necessarily start there, but I did try it at one point. But it wasn't necessarily a great direction for me to go. Because the manual interestingly gives you like a full walkthrough for Airman's level for how you should do it. And I found it very interesting because I read the full walkthrough and I was like, it's too there's too much information, it's too confusing. I'll come back to this. And after having attempted Airman's level, I did go back and I was like, everything that they're telling me in this explanation was immediately obvious when I looked at it the first time what I was supposed to do. It's just that I didn't know how to like I couldn't do it. So like it's not like this walkthrough is particularly helpful. Um like they're just kind of it's like yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously you do that. I don't know why you needed to tell people why you thought people needed to know. I just, there's platforming
First,
and
jump
stuff.
to this platform, then
Right.
jump to that platform.
Yeah, don't touch the spikes that come up. Make sure you move on fast because enemies start spawning if you stay still. Yeah, okay, I
if
figured that
if
out when a bunch of enemies started spawning.
it feels like they maybe thought that the reason the first game wasn't that successful is because of the difficulty, and
Mm,
they were really trying to help people.
yeah.
Maybe.
Or maybe that is in there as this idea of like people didn't know where to start. And so like I'll just give
Mm.
you a place to start and I'll just tell you exactly what to do because it's like maybe people got lost because there were 6 things and you could do them in any order or something and nobody knew what they were doing. Um
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. My approach to this game, I felt like I had heard maybe somewhere something about Woodman or maybe Metal Man as like someone who might be like weak to the Mega Buster or something. I do know I have heard jokes about them. Right. I have heard jokes about them in the sense of Metal Man is such a shitty robot that his super robot powers that he's made of fucking metal, which is pretty bad power for a robot to have until you realize that game also has Woodman. Um Even worse power. But for some reason I thought that maybe one of them might be like weak to the Mega Buster or something, or maybe they were weak to each other. So I was trying those levels early. But really my progression was with this game was I said, "All right, I'm going to start on difficult because that was the standard." Um
Oh wow.
and what I discovered playing this is that there is a it feels to me that on most of these levels, because I tried a bunch of these levels on difficult before moving down to normal. Um, and what it seems to me is that in the original Mega Man, there were a lot of sections where you'd have enemies that move in these like small enemies that move in these very specific patterns or shoot in these very specific patterns. And it's pretty complicated, but if you are standing in the right spot or if you shoot at the right time, like all the enemies just get one shot for the most part. So if you're standing in the right spot or you shoot at the right time, you can just go through everything, don't take damage, it's fine. Um, and a lot of the platforming kind of like if you mess it up, you just have to go back a screen and then go back to where you were and you have to get through the situation again. So you end up kind of in this position where the first time you go somewhere you kind of get over, or at least I do. When I say you here, I mean me or someone of my skill level. The first time you go somewhere, you get kind of overwhelmed by all the shit happening. But once you figure out where the safe places are, you can kind of say, like, I'm just going to go here, do the same thing, stand in the same place, and bam, bam, bam. I can do it without taking damage by like the fifth or sixth time that I've done it. I can do it consistently almost every time without taking damage. So you can very quickly go through levels. What I found in this game was that the difficulty of the enemies was usually just there is a big guy, he's in your way, you can't get past him without killing him, there's no weird pattern, you just have to shoot him a lot. Not once, but like 3 to 5 times. So if you're in trouble, the reason you're in trouble is not that you were standing in the wrong spot or that you didn't jump or shoot at the right time, it's that you just weren't tapping that button fast enough or like you needed to be shooting more while you were jumping, or you just need to accept that you're going to have to trade damage with this guy. And so like the enemies had this weird thing going on where it was like on difficult it was easy to get overwhelmed because I just wasn't shooting fast enough, so I didn't kill them fast enough, so I didn't leave fast enough, so then a second and third one would spawn and then I'd get fucked. And then on easy, it'd be like, yeah, you just shoot them and then they die in one hit instead of 3, but they're not like hard to shoot and they don't really do much. So it kind of got to this point where I was like, in the first one, I really liked all of like fighting all of the enemies felt almost kind of like a puzzle game where I had to figure out where to go and how to do it and then I could do it every time. And then the
Yeah.
platforming wasn't too bad. And in this one it kind of felt like fighting the enemies on difficult is obnoxious and fighting them on normal is boring. So the only thing that's really engaging me is the platforming. But now we have a problem because in the with the original enemy combat, once I figured out how to do it, you know, easy I can just repeat it. I do the same thing every time I repeat it. But with platforming because I'm bad at it, I'd be like, okay, I got through there, but that's no guarantee I can get through there again. So instead of saying like, okay, I got to the boss and died, but that's fine because the level is short and I can consistently just go back to the boss. I'd say I got to the boss and died, and 1 in 3 to get past each one of these different platforming sections. So probably 20 attempts before I can see him again, right? And it just got it got very so it felt even though that difference was very subtle. From my perspective, it felt very different as a game in a way that I didn't really like.
This is why it's so fascinating doing this show with you.
Oh yeah, no, I knew you were not going to have this experience at all.
I mean, to the point where I almost feel like I'm like, wow, he's just so much more analytical than I am. He's really thinking about all this stuff. This is just not something I would ever
Mm,
consciously. The way I would characterize it, I
mhm,
would say yes, there are. I think generally there are probably fewer enemies on screen at any given time, most of the time at least, and there's more instances where there's like a cool big guy you got
mhm,
to get past, which I think was partially kind of them. It
mhm,
was flashier, it was cooler to see a big guy on the screen. Um, but by and large, I would say Mega Man 2 is easier than the first one. I particularly maybe I don't know if it's my memory or what. I feel like there's a lot less tricky platforming in this game than there was in the first one. There's only like the first game had a few sections with those disappearing blocks
mhm.
that I'm pretty sure one of them you could never even get past at all.
Yeah, the
This
one I like
game
soft locked myself on.
Mega Man 2 dials that
Mm.
back a lot. There's a few of those in like one level, but they're much simpler.
Mhm.
And one of them,
So
because of the new items that you get, I just skipped it entirely
yeah.
and
So
just flew
so
past it.
here's the problem, right? You're
Yeah, of
right, the
course.
platforming in this is much simpler, but in the other game, when you failed the platforming, you would just try it again or go back a screen. In this one, the platforming is simpler, but if you fail it, you die. Like, there are a lot of void pits, a lot of you fall down out of the sky, a lot of you fall off a cliff, a lot of you fall into lava. Just a lot of points where if you fall off, you die, that's that. That were not there or like that in the original. Like, it might be frustrating because you have to do this more difficult jump, but, like, if it takes you 20 attempts to do it, it's fine, you just take 20 attempts to do it, it's not a problem. And here it's like, yeah, it's easier, but if it takes you if you die 3 times, you have to do the whole level up to this point again, and the whole level up to this point again includes another platforming section. Right, and so you end up with this thing that's like, "Listen, if I'm 1 in 3 to get through this section, but I don't die, that's no problem. I just do it 3 times. But if I'm 1 in 3 to get through this section, then I just don't progress past it because I only have 3 lives." Right? Or I barely progress. You put 2 of them in there and we're just done. I'm not making it to the end. And that was really what made the platforming in this much harder for me.
That's a shame. That's a tragedy.
Yeah, I got one of those items. I got
Okay, which one did you get?
I got the wall elevator. But that one didn't. I don't know, like, maybe I could have found places where it would have helped me platform more, but I don't know, I didn't really find most of the areas where I had issues, it was like, yeah, what I need is just, like, skip it or, like, put a platform midair, there aren't really, like, walls to go up. There was, like, 1 or maybe 2 times where it let me get, like, a power up that I couldn't get, so that was pretty cool, but, yeah, I don't know, like, the other the other, platforming, upgrades were locked behind levels that I just gave up on because I kept jumping into the void and I got sick of it. Because I was like, "Eh, fuck it."
Mm,
Right? Like,
yeah, I would. Yeah,
I think Heatman, I probably Heatman?
Heat Man, Heat
Heatman.
Man.
I think Heatman, I almost got to his boss level one time, and then I put in, like, eh, 20 more attempts and didn't get halfway through the level, and I was like, "Eh, fuck it, I'm done with that. I'm just not even gonna bother anymore." Because, like, which is, again, something that would never happen in the original Mega Man. If I made it to the boss in the original Mega Man, th I'm making it to the boss almost every single one of those 20 attempts. In this one, it very possible you could just never make it there again, for me.
I wonder how much of your experience would be universal to non-gamers and how much of it is you being a weird little freak. That like
It's hard to say.
your skills and the things you're not good at are
Mhm,
so specific.
mhm.
I just can't figure out
Yeah,
when and where they're going to apply.
it is hard to say. Somebody who was like, because maybe I can imagine somebody who is very specifically good at like understanding how their character is going to move and jump with platforms, but like can't really pattern out where enemy projectiles are going to go and say like that's the safe zone. And that person says, "Oh yeah, this was way easier and the original was fucking impossible." Right? I just died all the time and there was nothing I could do about it. Like whereas I could easily imagine somebody who wasn't good having a reversed experience. I do think that I did also notice something you kind of said with less stuff on screen. There was often like it was fewer things happening. It was just like it's just an obnoxious big bulky guy you got to shoot a lot or a platforming section and the levels seemed a lot shorter as well. I don't know if that's like true.
Um I don't know honestly.
Hmm.
Maybe they are. It's hard for me to judge that because it's like you know, I'm just not playing them as many times as you, and the amount of
Mhm.
time it takes me to get through one, like I might do some on my first or second attempt, and others might take me 3 or 4, and it's just like hard for me to figure out how long a level is on average.
Mm, mhm.
Like, because so much of it is like whether or not you're replaying it. So I'm like,
Right.
I
Yeah.
can't, I don't know, I can't keep track of that.
Yeah, I mean even in the other Mega Man it is it is a game where you're like the first time you play it, you're like, oh geez, it's so long. There's so much crap, and then you go replay it, and you're like, oh, there's actually like nothing. I'm already at the end. I
Yeah.
just didn't realize that.
Now I do. So it's a shame that you only got item 3, which is the elevator, because I do think that is the least useful
Yeah.
item.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it kind of sucks that the good platforming items are locked behind the platforming I can't do. I mean, it was
Well,
like last
you got
time
to
where it
prove
was like,
yourself.
yeah,
You got to earn it.
you could get you could get Gutsman's thing, and that would help you. Yeah, too bad that's the one level I can't do.
Right. But like the elevator is more, there's, especially in Dr. Wily's stages, there's more
Hmm.
specific areas where you actually need it. But man,
Hmm.
the one that just lets you sit on it and glide forward would
Yeah.
have really probably helped you in a few sections. I mean, you also probably would have used it like once, ran out of all the energy, fucked up, and then died and fucked it up anyway. So you would have been like, it still didn't help me, is my guess.
Yes, I
But it would
don't
have helped
know.
a little.
I don't know because like I did like I got the time stop weapon and I did have a similar thought with that where I was like, yeah, there are points where there's enemies in platforming and I might want to get just stop the enemies. The problem is that like I can't say like, well, I can beat all the level consistently except this one section, so I'll just use all of my time stop ammo cuz that uses all of it in one shot just to get through this section and then I'll finish the level. It's always like, yeah, the problem is there's 2 or 3, so if I do that once, um, then I die, then on another section that I can't consistently do, then what does it did it really help that much? Um, so I don't know, it depends on exactly how much ammo the thing uses, and I don't know, I don't know.
Let's start to examine this more closely. Let's look at some individual levels.
Yeah.
You said you kind of started with Woodman and Metalman.
Mhm.
Now, did you? Why don't we just say this? Which robot masters did you beat?
All right, let's see here. God, these are a little bit harder
Of
to keep track of. So I beat Metal Man.
okay,
Um, I did try Heat Man as well pretty early, but I couldn't get through there. I beat Woodman. Um, and I beat Flash. Yeah, so I beat Woodman, Flashman, and Metal Man is the ones I beat.
3 out of 8. What was I don't remember how far you got in the first Mega Man. Is this better?
Um,
Probably the same.
I got to a lot of the robot masters, but I
Hmm.
didn't beat them in the first match. And there were other robot masters in this that I did get to. Like I got to Quick Man and Crash Man. And I think I was like right up at the edge of Heat Man, but I just couldn't finish the level. Um but also I do have this thing with the Mega Man bosses where they're like, "Oh my god, they're just jumping around and they're and it's really hard for me to be shooting and also jumping at the same time and there's 10 things going on at once, so it's hard for me to read their pattern. So if I don't have the right weapon when I get there, I'm just like, what the fuck do I even do? So like the times when I did get to God, which ones was it? The times when I did get to Quick Man and Crash Man, I did kind of just like run in there with a weapon and it was like, does this work? Oh, I died. Nope. Does this work? No, I died. Oh, all
Sure.
right, I'm done. And then in another
Yeah.
Mega Man game, I might have said, well, I'll just beat the level again and try him because that'll take like a minute to get back here. But in this, I'm like, I don't know that I can consistently beat the level, so maybe I could be back here in a minute, or maybe it would be 15 minutes and I'd forget everything that I was just doing, so fuck it, I'm just gonna move on to the next level. I got to him. Whatever, good enough.
I
That
consider it a win, even though I got no reward for it.
yeah, I mean like that this really is one of the issues with this, right? Is that like when I know that if I get something I'm gonna be able to keep getting it, it does put you into that like locked in mindset of being like fucking why can't I do this? I know I can do this. Yeah, I can do it. Like I just got to lock in. But if I'm just like, yeah, even if I get it, I'm probably still going to be like 1 in 5, 1 in 3, whatever at best. You know, it's kind of like, yeah, I could get it again, but like, what's the point? I'm basically just flipping coins. It feels like grinding attempts and not like you're actually like locking in and doing better. It doesn't. This game did not encourage me to get better at the levels in the way that the first Mega Man encouraged me to get better at the levels.
You're a lot of Mega Man fans right now are listening and you're breaking their hearts a little bit, I think.
I'm sure I am. I'm sure I am.
It's something I'm used to on a weekly basis on this show. I will tell you a little bit about my trajectory with this game.
Yeah.
I've played through this game once or twice before, but not for a long time. So by no means do I do not have like the weaknesses memorized. I didn't remember the level layouts. Most of this might as well have been new to me, other than the muscle memory of how a Mega Man game works.
Hmm.
I did take the manual's advice. I started with Airman. I was like, why not?
Hmm.
Beat Airman. Okay, cool. I was like, that was good. I can tell you that my timestamp on video, it took me this is from opening credits to to weapon upgrade complete,
Hmm.
11 minutes.
Yeah, that
I was
no
like,
way.
okay.
Not even close.
I probably spent like 8 minutes total, 9 minutes on
uh
Airman's stage.
I spent
I'm just
33 minutes
bragging.
and 28 seconds attempting all of the levels on difficult before deciding that that was impossible and moving on to normal instead.
Right.
I did attempt all the levels, I'm pretty sure, on difficult.
Mhm.
And you know, as much as I am saying like I didn't get to these robot masters, I didn't beat them. I did at least play every level until I got to a point where I'm like, "Yeah, fuck it. Even if I get past this, I can't there's no way I'm consistently doing this." Like I did play every level up until the point where it felt like there was no real point at trying to do better.
Yeah, sure. Why not? So Airman beat, I moved on to Metal Man.
Mhm.
And the reason that I went on to Metal Man, the one thing that I did remember about this game, and the
Mhm.
one thing that most people like know about and remember about this game, is that Metal Man's metal blade weapon is the best weapon in the game.
It did say
And
that in the manual. That was also
yeah, it
true.
even does say that in the manual. That's true. It
Yeah.
even says like
Yeah.
they know. They even tell you to get that. Um because it just really is probably more so than almost any other Mega Man game. Once you get the metal blade, like that's your weapon.
Mhm.
Like unless you're really trying to conserve ammo and you're worried, the metal blade, the ammo is so generous for it. You can shoot out tons of metal blades and the blips barely deplete fast enough for you to lose any by the time you're getting more from enemies. And it is just generally effective against almost every enemy in the game. It's just a good all-purpose weapon, and many or at least several of the robot bosses, the robot masters they're called.
Mhm.
Whatever their weakness is, a lot of the times like Metal Blade is also their weakness. Like it's just
Mhm.
so good that you almost like in the first Mega Man when we replayed it, I just went ahead and looked at the weakness charts because I was like, whatever, let me just find out what's weak to what. I'm just gonna do this. In this game, I didn't really bother with that because Metal Blade is so good that generally I could feel confident it would work. For a couple that it didn't, I was like, okay, then I'll come back. I kind of think I maybe know what weapon they need and I'll try it again later. But Metal Blade is just really strong. So I'm glad that you actually got to
Mhm.
acquire it. I am curious if you found it as useful as I think it is.
Um, so it's hard to say because I do think there are one of the things is that because I was playing on normal difficulty, a lot of enemies that should have taken 3 to 5 hits to kill took like 1 or 2. So there were a lot of portions that, maybe if I were playing on difficulty, it would have been helpful, but because I wasn't, it didn't matter as much. But there
Mm.
were a few areas where it helped a lot. Like I remember trying to play fucking god, I don't remember these Crashman stage. Um with all the ladders and like the birds that drop eggs and the guys that float around while you're on platforms. And
Yeah.
I tried playing that early, um when I was just trying all the levels, And I do remember thinking there were several points on there where I was just like, there is literally nothing you can fucking do other than just tank like 3 hits and hope you don't die from full. Like, you're just fucked. There's nothing you can goddamn do. And I looked it up and they're like, yeah, you can shoot this thing mid-air. No, you fucking can't. It's not possible. Literally can't be done. And then once I had played around a little bit with the metal blades, I was like, oh, if I could shoot straight up or at an angle, then I could deal with that. This can be done if I come back with this weapon. Like, not even like the boss is weak to it, but like these enemies are just going to knock you off ladders into the previous screen while dealing shitloads of damage, and you can't dodge them and you can't shoot them because they're above you. And oh, but if you have the metal blade, you can just do it. And I was like, okay, so there is some like level progression beyond just what boss is weak to what here. Like, having this does let me get through this level in a way that I don't think would have been possible without it on any
I
difficulty.
also maybe I'm not didn't misremembering this or imagining it, but I think that the other advantage of the metal blade is that it will go through enemies and hit
Mm,
enemies behind it as well, whereas your
yeah.
regular blaster just stops when it hits something.
Yes.
Uh, so it's pretty useful for when there's like multiple enemies in a group. You can just slice through them all in one go.
Yeah. There were for sure times when, you know, I mean, one of the problems is that a lot of the times when there are a ton of enemies, it's like it's not really that difficult unless I'm also platforming. And if I'm trying to shoot them with this thing while I'm platforming, then I'm probably trying to shoot them at an angle. And if I'm trying to fuck around with the D-pad while I'm on a platform, I'm liable to walk off the edge of it, and walking off the edge of it insta-kills you because this is not a game where you can fall off a platform and live, ever. So,
Some no,
like, it
sometimes
wasn't that
there
helpful.
there are some areas where you do fall down. There's not only pits.
Eh, you're gonna see a lot of pits.
Well, I'm gonna see you fall into a lot of
Yeah,
pits.
you sure are. Yeah.
It's gonna kill me every time, probably. But there's just basically is no reason. Like the metal blade is a straight upgrade over the default weapon.
Mhm.
Like the only reason not to use it is for ammo purposes, and
Yeah.
like it doesn't matter. You get so much ammo that it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
I think early on I was trying to say like if I can use the Mega Buster, and I know I can do it, I'm using that and not the metal blades. And it didn't take me too long to realize, oh yeah, you know what? I don't run out of ammo really. It's probably fine. I don't
Right.
really need to do that.
Yeah. It's not a big deal. Now, in terms of the other weapons, so you also got this time freeze and the woodman, the leaf shield.
Yeah, I don't really think I ever quite understood how the leaf shield worked. It didn't seem
Yeah,
to always shield me.
I will say the leaf shield is not the most helpful weapon, but I do think it is one of the coolest conceptually.
Yeah.
I like it's one of the most memorable, I think, because it looks cool.
It does.
Um,
Yeah, I wish I understood because, like, sometimes I could use it as a shield against like swarms of enemies, and sometimes they would get through, or like certain attacks couldn't get through, and certain attacks could. And I was never quite sure what was going on. Like, I didn't quite know how to use it, I don't think.
it is a bit weird because it's a shield and then you can throw it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I only really used it when I knew when I needed to when a boss was weak to it.
Mm.
It kind of seems like there should be sections where you can like equip it if you like are focusing on platforming, and that way enemies, if they hit you, will die to the shield.
I
Maybe.
did also try that with those birds that drop eggs on Crashman's stage, where I was like, what if I just put up the shield when the swarm comes at me? And I was like, that works most of the time, but sometimes it doesn't, so I'm just gonna go back to the metal blade thing.
Did you know you can hit the egg before it lands and
Yes,
then
I
no
did.
birds come out?
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean that's what I was doing with the metal blade. The problem is that, if you're on a ladder and you can't move side to side, you can only shoot side to side and they're dropping from above. You need to shoot up. That's just the end of
yeah.
it.
Well,
Yeah.
or I mean, when I did that, I took a hit and just kept moving. You know.
And it didn't like knock you off the ladder and then you jumped back and then you had to take another hit because another one spawned.
No, because
That
but I was able to grab the ladder again, and my invincibility frames were still going, so I
mm,
could then get through it up to the
I
top again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I was often getting knocked back full screens. Yeah, it was just like not doable.
Yeah, no, it
I
does
don't know
suck
what the
to
problem
suck.
was.
It does suck to suck. I mean, I found with those birds another aspect of Mega Man games, but when they all come out, that's also a good opportunity because every individual enemy that dies has a chance to drop something. So there's a greater
Mm,
chance for you to get health, energy, and even extra
mm.
lives when
Yeah, I
you're
mean,
killing all those birds.
that's sort of true, but also I'm confined to a ladder and cannot move side to side, so
Well,
most of the things just drop off screen.
I'm not thinking of the ladder section. I'm thinking of the when they're coming at you from the side.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I mean, the ladder section was the problem, the point where I had a problem with them. I didn't elsewhere it was like fine, but that was the section where I was like, there's nothing I can do.
I feel like you just got discouraged and like didn't realize like if you really just keep holding up, like you'll take some damage, but you'll just get up the ladder pretty much. I don't know.
Well,
I
you
don't
can
know what
watch.
happened to
You'll see me keep getting knocked off, and then I fall back to the earlier screen, and then that's just you'll see.
you. Yeah, I'm sure I will. Uh, in terms of the other weapons, when I
Mhm.
you know, that's maybe it's the thing I like about this game because I think the metal blade is cool and I like using it. And I like
Mhm.
that it's strong, but it does also mean that most of the other weapons you're not really using all the time unless it's situational. I do think Airman's weapon is pretty cool because it shoots vertically. So there's some sections where that's very useful to be able to shoot up at stuff. Bubble Man's is cool because it like glides along the floor, and sometimes that is also
Yeah,
useful.
I did want that because I remembered from the last game there are times where there's just like, oh, there's enemies that are too low for you to shoot, and they're annoying, and I was like, that could probably be helpful. But Bubble Man's stage was just so fucking obnoxious that I gave up on it very quickly.
By the way, can I tell you something that'll infuriate you?
Uh huh. Uh huh.
I mean, actually, you won't care, but my my total start to finish time on the Crashman stage is 6 minutes. That's how long it took me one attempt through.
Yeah. Well.
Done. Easy. That was the level that took me the least amount of time in the entire game.
Yeah. Well.
Um, the ones that I had more trouble with, Heatman's stage.
Hmm.
He was one of the few robot bosses who I really felt like I needed to get the bubble weapon because once I did get to him and he just wasn't taking enough damage and I was like, I don't think I can do this with my current regular weapon.
Hmm.
Um, but I also came back to Heatman and there's some sections where you can use that the glidey glider.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's an entire very difficult platforming section in that stage with a bunch of reappearing and disappearing blocks that I just was like,
Mm.
no, I'm
It's
bypassing this. This
it's
is not
interesting
for me.
because I it took me a while to learn that, but it wasn't like physically very difficult to do. You just had to like learn it, and a large section of the
Mhm.
learnable portion or difficult portion was just over flat ground where you were fine and there wasn't anything there.
Yeah.
So I didn't have too much trouble with it except I like fucked up once toward the end of it. And then I just never got back there because there's an earlier platforming section that just killed me most of the time. Almost every
Mm.
time because it's like, oh, if you fuck up, you fall in lava and then you're dead. And
Yeah.
that's really the problem. It's like I'm okay if fucking up means that I just have to start over. That's fine. But I need
Yeah.
to be
Well, I mean,
allowed to fuck up.
that's why I did it because I was like, I don't even want if there's a chance I'm gonna fall, I'm not gonna take the
Yeah.
chance. Like I
Yeah.
have a
Well, I mean,
power to.
I just did something stupid. Like if I had gotten there again, I wouldn't have done that stupid thing, and I would have made it. It would have been no problem. Like I would have 100% used that glider to skip basically the first section of that level if I had it, but I
Mm.
couldn't skip the first section of that level.
I don't know if that would have been harder because there's enemies in that one. They might have
Yeah.
like still gotten in your way.
Yeah, they might have,
Not
but I
sure.
don't know. Hard to know.
Um, also, the other one you were talking about the time stop weapon,
Hmm.
and I do think it seems to me that weapon is only useful in two places in the entire game.
Hmm.
One is against Quickman; it will deplete his energy while it's on, so that's his
Did
weakness.
I did that happen? I totally maybe I just didn't notice it. 'Cause, like, I swear I tried that against Quickman because I was like, "Yeah, it makes sense that Time Stop would be good against Quickman," and I just, like, I don't know. It didn't seem to do anything or something, I don't know.
It
Maybe I
doesn't
just
kind
wasn't
it kinda
looking.
doesn't look like it is immediately, but yeah, it
Mm,
does drain it'll drain about half of his life, so, like, usually the strat is
but the
to
so
get
you
him down to
still
halfway.
I see. Okay, so the real problem that I had with Quickman was just that, like, I could not deal any damage to him whatsoever. He deflected all of my shots when I shot him, and then he just killed me, and I could barely get shots off on him. And okay, yeah, I mean, I get it.
Yeah, it's a shame. But then the other section, did you get to I wish I could remember which level it is. Um, is it? It's not. No, it's not. Maybe is it Flashman? No, is it Bubble Man? Somebody has a section with a bunch of lasers that,
Oh
as
yeah,
you're flying down, all these lasers shoot at you, and you have to
that
get
that's
through fast. And
that's Quickman,
oh, it
isn't it?
is. No,
Isn't it?
oh, it is Quick Man. Or no,
Yeah,
is it Quick Man? Yeah, it is Quick Man. You're
yeah.
right. You're right. You're right. It is Quick Man. Sorry, I was confusing it. It's Quick Man because that is another area where the time freeze is very, very helpful because it freezes the lasers and there's no
Mm,
enemies and you can just drop all the way down and not have to worry about them.
interesting. Yeah, I could see that.
Like
They
it
were
is
not.
possible to do it without them, but I found it pretty hard.
Oh, once I learned where the lasers were, I found that to be not too bad. It was not consistent enough that I was really willing at that point to like try to beat Quickman since uh, I really the robot masters are such a fucking pain in the ass if you don't know what they're weak to that I'm kind of at a point where I am just like I need to consistently get to them 100% of the time every time. If I'm failing to get to them at all, the fuck it, I'm going to go figure out what they're weak to. I'm just done with that.
Metal Blade. They're weak to Metal Blade.
They aren't not good enough. Not from me. But
I think I beat at least 6 of them just with Metal Blade.
yeah,
Or
I
maybe
mean,
5
we
of
could
them.
talk about my issues with Robot Masters because that was a thing last game too that you saw some of. But yeah, I didn't think the lasers were too bad. You just had to keep moving the whole time.
Yeah. I guess the difference is you're used to you just I don't know. I just got like impatient. Now after dying a few times, I was like, this seems like it's very hard to do. Oh, there's
Hmm.
an ability that lets me do it. So that's probably what
Hmm.
they want me to do. So I just did it. I
Yeah.
didn't feel like putting in the attempts to learn it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it didn't it relative to the platforming sections, it took very few attempts to learn it. It did like it
Right.
wasn't
That's
that
the
bad.
difference.
Yeah.
We're probably both like the same at
Yeah.
that, but
Yeah.
because you're so bad at
Right.
platforming, to you that's the easy part.
Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, that wasn't too bad. I got it. It wasn't too hard. Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, what? So there's that. Yeah, your trouble with bosses is that they just jump around too much and you
Yeah.
can't hit them.
Yeah, I mean, so this is something that I was also thinking about because like they jump around so fucking much. They're throwing things everywhere, and so I need to be constantly moving and jumping around their patterns to avoid dying immediately. But then I also need to be shooting at them while I'm jumping away. And this was a real problem that I was having before, which is that shooting and jumping at the same time is quite difficult for me, which does kind of tie back to one of the things that I was saying about the enemies being annoying in this game. When every enemy is just a one shot, but they're really weird to hit, it's not that hard to be like, yeah, I just need to shoot and jump, like, boom, boom, I got it. But if it's just like, yeah, you just need to, like, constantly be jumping and then, like, also constantly be shooting because you just need to hit this thing 5 times by the time you get to it, then it becomes very difficult because you always have to be shooting and jumping at the same time. And this is just like not something that I'm good at processing. And
Your
again,
poor
like
little thumb.
I could learn the boss patterns and get there and figure it out, but it's just it's so much of a step up for me over everything else that like again, I need to be consistently at the boss every like I can't be spending time getting back through the level because I can't do it. Which the original Mega Man game, like, yeah, you have to redo the level, but whatever. It's short and you never fail after you do it the first time. Um, I was thinking about this also though, because I do think that part of it is that like they are two separate buttons that are both being controlled by the same thing, my thumb. And I
Uh-huh.
and I think that in my brain,
Isn't that
like,
every button
well,
besides the
no.
triggers?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, well, but not quite, right? Because there's the D-pad, which is one
Which
thumb.
fingers are you fucking using?
There's well, no, but like there's the D-pad, that's your one thumb, and then there's like jump or shoot, that's your other thumb. So doing those two simultaneously, like moving while shooting, easy because each one of those actions is a separate finger. But jumping and shooting difficult because I'm splitting the task between one finger. Make sense?
Right. And to be clear, yeah, it's not exactly simultaneous. It is like
Yeah, yeah.
jump and then really fast go to shoot.
Right. Yeah, no, like obviously you're not quite doing them simultaneous, but I think in my brain, if a finger that I'm using or thumb or whatever has to switch
Thank you.
tasks,
A digit.
a digit, then it's like an extra input. It's like, okay, it takes as like it's like, okay, I need to jump, switch, shoot, shoot, shoot. Like I can't be like jump, shoot, jump, shoot. I have to be like jump, switch, shoot, switch, jump, switch, shoot, switch, jump. Right? Like in my brain there's like a beat that has to go in between them because like otherwise my thumb is just going to be doing the same thing. Like I need to move it. I was actually thinking about this because I was playing Pokopia, right? The Pokemon
Pokemon
game.
Pokopia?
Pokemon Pokopia. And in this game, you can like it's the only game I've ever seen with this option. You can like toggle which button jumps and which button runs.
Hmm.
Um but I was talking to my housemate about it, and he was like, "But I don't even know why you'd use a button to run because you can just click the stick to run, right?"
Right,
And
right.
I realized I hate that doing that because it puts moving and toggling run on the same finger, right? So it's almost like if I want to be moving and then I decide I want to run, I have to take a beat to think, okay, time to run. And I almost have to like stop moving to start running. Physically, you don't need to do that. But like I need to like transition what that finger's job is. Right. And so I was using the other button on my other hand to toggle run, you know? And so I
You're
think
like
this
an
this is a
old
thing for
computer.
me.
There's just you
Yeah.
can't you can only process so many tasks at once.
I mean, well, I can process the tasks, I just need them to all be on different digits. Right? Like if I'm using two triggers and like the face buttons and the you know, D-pad or joystick or whatever, I can do six things at once because I got six digits doing them. But if I
So I
only got two
wonder,
digits, yeah.
I mean, look, this would be not possible on the real NES hardware and arguably not in the spirit of our show,
Hmm.
but you could, for instance, remap shoot to the right trigger on your
Hmm.
controller in Mega Man, and maybe you would have a much easier time with it that way.
I legit think that I would have a much easier time with it. Yeah, for real.
Fascinating.
I
What
also
is
think that I would, I mean, at first, I think it would be a lot more difficult because I wouldn't be used to it at all. But I think that I would rapidly get a lot better with it if I were using index and middle finger on like keyboard buttons to do like jump and shoot because they'd be two different fingers.
Yeah, well, you may, find that games get easier as they add more buttons to the controllers.
I might. It's possible I will.
Specifically, really the triggers, I guess. That would be the only thing that would help you
Yeah.
because every other button is still a thumb button.
Yeah. I mean,
There's
it's,
also
it's,
back buttons on some
it's,
controllers.
it's fine as long as you don't need to rapidly be switching what you're doing, right? Like, you know, I
Yeah.
don't know. Like, I don't, it's never as much of an issue in Mario. Like, yeah, sometimes I get confused about what button I'm pressing, but like whether I'm jumping or like shooting a fireball or something, it's not like a disaster, you know, because it's never like, well, you have to like time the jump and the fireball at the perfect moment or whatever. And yeah, if I'm holding run, I'm holding run. Like I'm just holding it. I'm trying to like pretend that that doesn't exist while tapping the other button.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of agree with you, by the way, about clicking the stick to run. I just don't think it feels very good. It's like easy to, I don't know. I find that I might not click it quite hard enough, or my thumb will then get tired and slip. I still do it sometimes. A lot of games use that, and sometimes it works. But I do sort of prefer a button. I see where you're coming from, for different reasons.
Yeah, for different reasons probably, but
Adjacent perhaps. Another section that I had a lot of difficulty with in Mega Man 2 was mostly just me being dumb, which was Bubble Man's stage. First of all, well, now this is an underwater level, which we're just talking about with Echo. This is a legit underwater stage that you got to experience in the course of play. I don't think it's quite as, it doesn't quite change the physics as much as, say, in a Mario game or a Sonic game does. I think it's like there's a little bit of different, you jump a little higher, the gravity's a little different, but I don't think it's too crazy. I don't know if you agree with that.
I didn't play the underwater sections of this level. I had fucked off from this well before that.
What even happens before that?
There's some platforming that I kept running off the edge of, disappearing blocks that I kept being like, I thought I jumped before it disappeared, but I didn't, and I just fell and died. There's a bunch of things where, like, there's a jump, and then there's a guy who spits stuff at you, takes 5 fucking hits to kill even on normal, and I just if this had been one of the earlier levels I tried, but like I tried it on difficult and I didn't come back to it until relatively late on normal. And at that point I was just like, this platforming is obnoxious. These enemies are obnoxious. Like, it's not even interesting. There's just a big stupid guy that I have to beat, that I have to shoot a billion things at, and then I have to platform, and I can't deal with the platforming. This sucks. It's not even fun. And so I just gave up on that pretty quick.
He's a big frog. He's a funny little frog guy.
I do like him, but he's annoying to have to interact with.
So that's not very nice.
Yeah, well, just because I like how he looks on screen doesn't mean that I actually find the process of fighting him fun.
This is like, there's like 3 frogs, and then the platform you're referring to is there's like 5 blocks that you have to jump on.
I died
pretty
there
much immediately after that. You go
I
down
died
to the
something
water.
like a dozen times there and said, fuck it, I'm done with that.
You just have to go, like, they fall when you just jump the second you hit. Like, it's really, it's
I
not
tried doing that.
hard.
Yeah, I tried doing that, and I couldn't consistently do it. I was thinking while I was doing this, you're going to see me appear to just stand there and run off of cliffs a lot. I was thinking, I think it's about time I get one of those, like, button input mappers or something, like overlays or something, so you can see me push jump after I've already, like, fallen off the edge.
So I can, you can have proof of how stupid you are?
Yeah, so you can see, like, exactly what's going on.
I believe you. I believe how stupid you are. Well, that's great that I was like, oh, water level, he'll get to play.
Yeah, no. I just...
No.
Yeah. Because it's platforming, and if you fall... like I said...
It's 5 platforms.
Yeah, and if you mess it up, you immediately die. Like I said, every fucking platform in this game, if you miss it, you die. It's
the beginning of the level, though. It's like the first 10 seconds of the level.
Yeah, and you lose all your lives there several times, and you say, all right, maybe if I had to do this more, I'd come back to this, but like, ugh. It's just not that fun.
God, you're so fucking dumb. I hate you.
It's just...
I hate you more than anything in the world.
Like, not inspiring me to want to get better at, because I already know that even if I get through this level or this section to the rest of the level, I will not be able to repeat it consistently. Like, at best, after I get it the first time, it's going to be a 50-50, meaning I don't even really get to attempt the rest of the level because I won't have my lives. So, fuck it.
Anyway, what I was going to say about how the part I had difficulty with Bubble Man stage won't really, I mean, you won't be able to respond.
Yeah, but I still want to know.
I'm just talking into the void. This is for
the listeners want to know, yeah.
Well, first of all, underwater, there's spikes everywhere. The first time you're introduced, they're like spiky balls on the ceiling. So if you jump too high, you will hit them and you die instantly. So you have to really carefully jump because you're underwater and you do jump higher than normal. You have to like really pay attention to it. And that killed me a bunch. But the real thing that got me was there's these giant fish robots that shoot out smaller shrimp or something. And they have a very specific weak point, which is their antenna. And even if you hit their antenna, it's like one spot on the antenna.
Mm.
And it's very easy to not even realize that you're like not hitting it. And it just looks like it's bouncing off of them. So I just kept like running through the robot fish thinking you couldn't kill them. They would take tons of my health and then I would die. And I didn't come back until much later, and I looked up and was like, oh, you can kill them. That's the only, then you shouldn't just tank a huge amount of health on that part.
I mean, I am still coming at these games with the impression that if you're good, you should be able to do them all damageless. So, like, I don't, when I see an enemy, I am usually like, there's probably a way to do it. The big stupid stompy machines, I couldn't figure out when I could hurt them. I noticed that when I was shooting at them, sometimes I hurt them and sometimes it bounced off. And sometimes I could kill the stompy machine and then I would just have to fight the normal shield guy, which I know how to do from the last game. But, like, I could not, I most of the time just ran around them or took damage from them because I was like, if I try to fight them, it might work, and then I can get through damageless, but probably it won't work and I'll die. So I'd rather just take a third of my health by taking a hit and then be done with it. Like I didn't know what the hell was going on with them.
Well, guess what? That's what I did too.
Yeah.
I mean, there's few enough of them that it's like whatever. One shows up, I wait for it to jump, I go past, I take a hit. It's fine.
Yeah.
I don't really care. I don't need to figure out how to beat them.
Yeah. I mean, it is.
I got enough shit to worry about.
Yeah. I mean, like I didn't have to either. I could just use that strategy, but it is kind of annoying. Like, I do come into this with the idea of, like, if I learn the enemy's pattern, I can get through it every time without damage. But, like, with this, it is sort of like, well, what if I've taken damage earlier? Then I just can't get through this section. So am I then not consistently able to? So I prefer an enemy that's like in the first game, there was those enemies that just move horizontally across the screen and then shoot, like, 8-way projectiles that I think you... Like, I figured them out, and, like, I think you watched me play, and you were like, oh, you're actually, like, dodging all those. I just took the damage. And I was like, yeah, I played it enough. I figured out how to dodge them. I'd rather something, like, really obvious like that, where it's like, listen, this is just, if you can land the hit, you land the hit, and if you can dodge the thing, you dodge the thing, and not some weird, like, oh, it's got a weak point, or it's got a strange animation you have to land the frame in. That's, like, I don't know. It's just... It feels like I don't want to. I want
what I
it
would
to
call
be
more of the puzzle, though.
Yeah. That's no. The puzzle is figuring out where on the screen is safe at what time.
Well, they can both be puzzles in a sense.
Yeah, I guess the other one.
It's more of a direct puzzle.
Dumb mini boss thing.
Yeah, I mean, listen. If what you don't like is finding an enemy's weak spot, then I have bad news for you about video games.
Yeah, I mean that's not
a lot of them.
That's not as fun as finding like like interpreting a geometric pattern and then like adjusting myself to it.
Jesus,
that's
Christ.
More interesting to me. Yeah,
don't talk about adjusting yourself.
Like, how is it a puzzle to find an enemy's weak spot? You just shoot at it and see what reacts.
That's as much of a puzzle as where do I stand?
No, where do you stand is you watch where it goes, you figure out like where the things are, and then you maneuver around it. You can't watch the enemy to figure out its weak point. You just kind of shoot at it until it works, and then go, oh, I guess it was that.
Well, it depends on the game and the like. This, this is something that would happen more in like a 3D game or something like that. But it's more. It's. I'm not saying it's Sudoku or something. I'm not saying it's a cryptogram. But it is a little bit like, okay, I can't just shoot it. I have to think about it. I have to look and watch and see, oh, that part of it like opens up. So maybe I wait. How do I get that to open up? Okay, now I shoot it. Like that is like a mini puzzle.
I mean, I guess, but also you didn't have to do that for these big guys either.
Yeah, but I still say it's as much of a puzzle as.
I mean, is it if the answer is you have to shoot it at a specific point on this antenna and you can't even tell if you've done it? Well, it's not a puzzle if there's no feedback on it.
Well, there is. It's just that you have to like. I wasn't hitting that exact spot, so I wasn't seeing the feedback, or it wasn't noticeable enough to me.
Where's the clue that it needs to be that exact spot?
I'm not arguing that this specific fish is a good example of that. I'm just saying it is one. A thing
I
that has
guess.
a solution you need to find.
Well, it's a boring puzzle that's not interesting to me.
Sure. Okay, fine.
Fine.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
interested in the geometric, whatever the fuck you said, you nerd. You're a fucking loser. Go read a fucking textbook. Dork.
I just don't care about weak points. It's not that interesting.
The points of this. Jesus Christ. How are you ever going to defeat the giant enemy crab?
I know, right? I'm going to have trouble with that crab.
Now, the parts of this game that I was more like cool on are all the post Robot Master stuff. So it took me just under 2 hours to beat the 8 Robot Masters. And I would say it's a similar ratio to the first game, where I then spent probably about half my time was on the Robot Master levels and half my time was on the Dr. Wily stages, which you unlock after you beat all the robots.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's unfortunate that you have not experienced any of these yet.
Yeah, no.
Although they are hard.
Ever.
Well, never say never. I like these levels because this is now that you have all the weapons, like the game knows you have all the weapons and all the abilities because it's no longer nonlinear. And so now is when the game can really, this is where more of the puzzle stuff comes into play of, okay, I need to be switching my weapons. I have this, I have that. Oh, now I need the elevator. Now I need the platforms. Oh, I need to make sure I don't use all this weapon because I need it for that next screen. And to me, that's kind of the culmination. That's like, okay, now use everything you've learned in this game. And that's fun to me.
Yeah. I can easily see that. Like, that is interesting, especially when you're getting tools beyond just like, oh, this shoots in directions, this is a shield, like some, oh, I have a time stop, oh, I've got this platform and this platform. I can 100% see that.
My issue with the Wily stages in Mega Man 2, there's this weird thing where there are certain sections where you need that elevator to progress. Or you need, this boss is weak to this weapon and you just can't beat it if you don't have that weapon ammo for it.
Mm-hmm.
And so there are sections where, unless you're playing it safe or you know what to expect and you are better at the game than me, if you die, you have to grind and shoot enemies to get them to drop energy for your weapons and items. And even there's a dragon that you fight, which is a cool fight, but it is pretty hard because you're up on these platforms and it's very easy to get knocked back and fall off and die. And then when you respawn, the checkpoint is not in front of the dragon. It's like 2 screens earlier where you need the elevator to go up, and using the elevator takes a lot of energy. So every time you just have to shoot enemies to get back to the dragon again. And it's just busy work. It's not like, oh, you have to get past these enemies. Oh, it's a challenging platforming section. It's just, you just don't have the juice. And there's like 2 or 3 of those sections in the final Wily levels, which I think are pretty lame.
How do the passwords work there? Because it said in the manual there were like 5 levels or something. I don't remember, but like there's multiple levels that you play linearly or something. Like, if you were to password it, do you start at the very beginning of the Wily stage, or do you or rather, do you get passwords after every single one of those, or do you just always have to start at the beginning no matter what?
So I never use the password, so I don't know.
But like did it give you a screen that said like password? Because like that's how you got them, is you just
I think
checked.
so. Well, I can check right now, but when you get a game over, you don't have to start at level 1 if you're on level 3. So I assume there's a password for each level. So that's fine. It's not that cruel.
Mm-hmm.
There's another boss where you need to use the crash weapon, and there's walls that you can explode that also need the crash weapon, and you literally only have like exactly enough shots to beat all of them. So if you miss one, you're fucked. You got to start over.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it, because like I do I was thinking at first as you were starting, you were gonna say like you didn't like it because you had to like already know it was coming, and I was gonna say like, well, that's just how I play Mega Man. You need to learn the level. You're not supposed to be able to just reaction time at first try like you always do. But like, yeah, as you actually like, it turns out that wasn't your argument at all. And yeah, I mean that does sound very annoying. Like I like the idea of saying like you need this ammo at this point and so you need to conserve it and you need to kind of know what's coming or like be ready for it in order to manage all of that stuff properly. I kind of like that. But yeah, the idea that like, oh, but if you die, you might as well just restart the game from scratch because fuck it, you're going to have to grind all of that back because you don't start with your ammo replenished. Yeah, that sucks. And the idea of like, oh, you have to use your ammo every attempt at the boss, even after you've done the section
Right.
that you needed it for. Like that all does sound like really just annoying design and not good.
It is annoying when you're like, I mean, this happened even for me in the regular robots where if I'm going in without full health and I know I
Mm,
have additional lives, I might go in there and just try to do it with my regular gun because I'm
mhm.
like, well, what happens if I find the one that's good against it, but then I die because my health was low? Now I have to come back with less ammo. So it's better for me to just die and then come in with full everything and have a better shot at it.
Yeah, I mean, how much would it ruin the game to just like reset your ammo when you die rather than at a game over?
I don't think
Like
it would ruin it. I think that would probably be fine because losing a life is punishment enough.
yeah. Maybe with the check, I don't know, because, like, that would also change the time stop weapon from being something that I look at and I go like, "Boy, if I could consistently hit everything in a level except one section, that'd be really, really good." But usually it's 2 sections I can't consistently hit, and therefore it's worthless. That would change it to, "No, no, every time I try it, that's 1 section I don't have to hit." Right? Like, I
Mhm.
because I wouldn't just be like, "Well, I died and then I can't do it the next time."
Right. Same
Like
with
it
my
would
like
yeah,
glider. If I fell off by accident, I'm like, oh well, now I have to do the platforming, and I didn't learn that, so this
right.
sucks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the dare I call it a puzzle of having to like swap weapons to be like, oh,
Mhm.
some energy dropped. Let me switch to the one that needs it. I like the system overall, but there are a couple points where it's like, all right, it's just sort of annoying here. At the end of the game, of course, you have to do another boss rush. We have to beat every boss again in one go, and then go to fight Wily, the final boss, without a checkpoint in between. And this I also found that I needed. This was where I actually had to learn their weaknesses because it was like I needed to be able to beat all 8 of them without dying, basically,
Mhm.
to have enough lives, or at least that was my goal. I probably could have taken like one hit or something, but I was like, I want to be safe. So I found that to be fairly challenging. The final boss is very weird. You fight Wily, he turns into an alien. And for some reason, this alien, the only weapon that is effective against him is the bubble.
Hmm. Okay.
I guess there is maybe a thematic reason for that, but in the moment, it's bizarre, and it means again, if you used your bubble on one of the
Yeah.
previous 8 bosses, there is actually no way you can beat him.
Yeah, that kinda sucks.
Then you find out it was actually not an alien. Wiley made a machine, and it was a hologram robot of an alien. And once you beat the alien, you see him at the controls, and you win the game.
Mm.
So I guess maybe you're supposed to be like, it's not waterproof, and your bubble is
Mm.
short circuiting him.
Sure, yeah, that could be, that could be. Now,
I don't know.
so you're not as high on this end game here. Now remind me of how you felt in Mega Man 1 because you did have like as I recall you were talking about the fight against what the Yellow Devil and
That's
how
right.
that was just like an obnoxious ass fight if you didn't cheese it with a glitch or something and on the other hand he's a great character design. So like I don't know like how would you compare these two just to refresh my memory end games?
I would give the edge to Mega Man 2
Okay.
because that the Yellow Devil, I literally have never been able to beat without using a glitch. Like there's none of the bosses in this game are like I can actually beat them the proper way after enough attempts. So they have that going for them. Like none of, in my opinion, Yellow Devil is just, they just went too far. And most of my issues here are not the bosses themselves. It's the lead up and needing to like deal with grinding and shit before you go in. But they do have some cool designs. Like I said, the dragon is cool. I mean, there's some annoying ones, and some of them are just like little robot squares that pop out of the walls that aren't that fun to look at. That one pissed me off a lot too, because you basically have to just memorize where they're going to come out of the walls. Otherwise, they hit you and you die.
Yeah.
But yeah, I give it the slight edge.
Is this the game that has the like super iconic Dr. Wily's theme thing going on at the end?
It does. I mean, we haven't talked about the music at all yet. But I do love the soundtrack to this game. It's extremely, I don't know if influential is the right word, but like many, if you're a video game band or a pixel music band or anything like that, you have performed this music somewhere sometime. There are Mega Man specific artists like the Proto Men and Mega Ran, the rapper, who use and are influenced by the music from this game and other games in the series, but I think this game is really the big one. And yes, that final Wily music, which I guess it doesn't play anywhere else.
Yeah,
well, I'm sure you've heard it.
Because that was something I was thinking as I was thinking about going into this. I was like, I mean, okay, so it says the music is really good, and I know that it has that song, which is super iconic and I do like, but I never experienced that song. I was thinking about it and I was like, how much of the good parts of the soundtrack did I actually get to experience playing this game?
I mean, I love from the instant you get into the title screen and they do a little story and then it kicks in with this music. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, we're going, baby.
Yeah, the title screen music is definitely good. I'm just trying to think like the level, how many of the level music, like the level themes stood out to me relative to like I did like them, but like how many stood out to me relative to the soundtrack in Mega Man 1, like as by comparison? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's hard for me to say. I mean, I love a lot of them. I also love the stage select music. I think is pretty great. But yeah, that final iconic one that goes that is like one of the best video game songs ever. That song is so good.
Too bad I can't give the game any credit for that one because I didn't see it.
Right. It is too bad. Also, you were talking about E-tanks before, and I'll be honest with you. For most of the game, I forgot what E-tanks do. And I didn't look it up, and I got one and I was like, it didn't really do anything. I don't know. What does that do? I don't know. So I never used any until like one of the final bosses I did. I think I used 2 of them to stay alive, but then that was, I didn't have any for Wily, or if I had saved some until the end, I probably would have been in a better spot, but
yeah, I don't know. Maybe I could have beaten a Robot Master that I didn't if I had used them, but I hadn't really. I was confused about them too. I think I wasn't really sure what was happening with them.
They don't. If you just play the game, there's no feedback when you get one. It just, you like get it and nothing happens unless you look at your menu and see there's a dot there.
What does it say about E-tanks in the manual here? Does it tell me what the hell is going on? It must, right?
It must.
It's gotta.
I assume you're looking at it.
I'm looking right now. Let's
Find
see
anything?
here. I'm looking for I don't see anything about it, but it's probably in here somewhere.
Well. Maybe it's not in there.
Yeah, it might not be in here. That might be why I was somewhat confused. Like there's a little energy thing here that shows you what a 1-up, a life increase, and a weapon energy increase looks like. But yeah, I mean, this just looks like they copied the thing from Mega Man 1 and pasted it in here.
Regardless, they are an iconic part of the series going forward. that I
Mhm.
completely forgot how they work. Shows you what a good Mega Man fan I am.
I mean, at the end of the day, most of my real troubles did come from like if I'm having trouble with enemies, it's usually because they're knocking me off platforms and I'm insta dying. So unless it's a Robot Master, I don't know how much they would have helped me personally with the stuff I was having trouble with.
All right, look, it's come to this. You were a fan of the original Mega Man.
Mhm.
You've made clear some of your thoughts about this game as well.
Mhm.
Sum it up for us, and then give it your IGN rating, if you would.
Yeah, so this Mega Man, I know people love this Mega Man, but for me, like fundamentally, this Mega Man didn't give me that same drive to get good at it the way the original one did. Not that I am good, but in the original, I did find a lot of the um levels interesting and mechanics interesting and rewarding, and in a way that I didn't hear. Like I do think that this is a common theme across video games, that for me it's like if completing something doesn't let me consistently complete it in the future because that skill is, then that's not as rewarding to me. It doesn't feel like I've gotten better. It feels like I'm just getting lucky sometimes. And this game had a lot more of that in here. A lot more. It feels like I just sometimes get through levels and sometimes I don't, and I whatever, and a lot less. Yeah, I did it. Now I can do it. And that's not just true relative to the original um like NES Mega Man, that's also true relative to the Game Boy version, which is similar, but it is different, right? Like they changed stuff around there, and that kept that element as well. I played a little of that on stream. Um, so like there are some small advantages that this game has, in terms of, the password system and some of the like cool stuff going on. But like really a lot of the things that I like about this game, um, Mega Man sprite, the fact that I do like and enjoy the controls and think that they are relatively intuitive to me, even if I'm bad at them. Um, the flashiness and color of the backgrounds, the soundtrack. um yeah, the soundtrack does elevate itself above the original Mega Man, but like without having experienced that last song, I don't know if it's super better. So, what I generally found with this game on the whole is that almost everything I like about it is something that I could have gotten just by playing the original. There's no reason to move forward to this. Whereas there are a lot of things in the original that I didn't get out of this game. So, not only can't I rate this above the original, but I also don't really want to give it as much credit for doing things that I like, because it's not even like a different iteration. It's not even like, ooh, new Mario sprite. I like this one too. Even if I don't like it as well, it's still, it's a different Mario. Like it. So I do think that this game's going to get rated relatively low relative to the original Mega Man. And I think that I am going to give Mega Man 2 a, let's say I don't know. I don't know. What should I give it? A 7.2 out of 10.
7.2. Thanks for reminding listeners that it's out of 10.
Well,
They'd be confused
sometimes
if it was like out of 5.
it's not always out of 10. You listen back. Sometimes I might use a different scale.
Of course, yeah. I mean, I say it every single week, but it really is. I just have to repeat myself about how impossible I find it to predict any of your opinions.
Yeah, I mean, I knew this time. I was like, there's no way that John was going to see the difference between these two. Like, this isn't even. I thought that the difference in this was just like so much of it was the same, that the difference it was so dramatic to me. I could tell it would be subtle for anyone else.
Never in a million years would I have anticipated that you loved the first Mega Man. And then never in a million years would I anticipate that you would turn around on the second one. Like the there's no you zag every time I think you're gonna zig. I I will never get used to it. You're so fucking weird. No one's brain is like yours. For my part, here's the thing about Mega Man 2 that I don't know if you kind of have this sense, but generally speaking, people look at Mega Man 2 as the defining game of this franchise. It's an iteration on the first, but I mean, part of it is that most people in America, at least, this was their first Mega Man if they were gaming at the time. And it added enough of those iconic elements, the fact that there's 8 robot masters, the extra items, the E-tanks, all this stuff, that I think many people regard this as this is when they got it right. This is when all those pieces locked into place. They figured out what they were doing. It's got that soundtrack that's full of bangers that everybody remembers. Like it's got the metal blade that everybody loves. Many people consider this the peak of the NES era, if not the entire Mega Man franchise. And that was my memory going in as well. And that was part of why having not played this as a kid, I still remembered feeling that way when I did play it. And that's part of why I rated Mega Man 1 a little bit lower. I was like, well, this is no Mega Man 2. I know what's coming here. And while I did not have most of the same experiences or problems that you laid out on this show, and never will understand you, I was surprised in that I didn't find Mega Man 2 to be as big of a leap as I thought it was going to be. In my memory, and maybe partially because of the reputation of this game, I was like, oh, this is Mega Man 1's the rough draft. Mega Man 2 it's all coming together. And in some ways that is true, but generally speaking, the level, I was like, oh, you know what? I had like basically as much fun playing the first Mega Man as I did playing many of these levels. It's not like there's some special sauce here for the most part that wasn't there in the original. I suppose I do, like I said, I guess I like the weapons better. I mean, there's more levels, so that helps. And for me, at least, some of those pain points were removed. I didn't find this one overall as difficult or as frustrating, but I didn't even find the first one to be that difficult when I replayed it. So there's sort of a toss up. And then I found some of the end sections frustrating and hard, but not in necessarily the way I would want them to be frustrating and hard. So I do think this is still a better game than the first Mega Man, but it's not by that much. I think that they're pretty close. I'm going to give Mega Man 2 an 8.3.
Slight increase.
A slight increase. Like it's like a little better, but overall, I'm having a good time no matter which one of these I'm playing. And they both also like take me roughly the same amount of time, even though there's more robots in this. It doesn't feel like, oh man, I got the exact same amount of juice more or less out of them both in terms of my entertainment value.
Yeah, I mean that kind of makes sense because I was wondering, I wasn't sure. I think it's kind of split 50-50 as to which set of Robot Masters I've heard of more, from the first game or from this game. And I did see skimming stuff about this game after I played it, that this was, considered like, oh yeah, this is a darling. This is considered much better than the first. And I was interested because I was thinking like, it doesn't really seem all that different from the first, and I was wondering how much of that was because I'm like still unable to engage with either game post having gotten all of the Robot Master upgrades. And so I was wondering if you were gonna like really get into that in those final levels. But yeah, I do. It does make sense to me that for most people who don't have my particular weird hangups, you know, unless those final sections are really different and really a big deal, they're pretty similar gameplay wise. It does feel like playing more Mega Man 1 in a lot of ways.
Right. It's Mega Man with like extra stuff in it. Right,
Hmm.
so like on paper, it's like, well, this one has more robots, more levels, better weapons,
Hmm.
arguably better music. I think the graphics get a little bit of a bump. They're pretty similar, but some of those big enemies on screen, I think actually are pretty cool looking and well
Hmm.
designed, and you don't
Yeah, that's true.
see really any big ones like that as much in the first game.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's like overall it gets a bump for me and most people. I am I mean our plan is still
Yeah.
to eventually cover Mega Man 3.
Hmm.
And
I mean, we got to
I
do
would
that one.
actually I would actually argue that Mega Man 3 is like that's really where everything there's
Mm.
still 2 or 3 elements that are not in place that I think Mega Man 3 adds, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, this is everything is here now.
Yeah, I mean, I still haven't seen Proto Man. I still haven't seen Roll. There's that dog, right?
Well,
Isn't there a
Roll was in
dog?
the first
Oh
first
yeah,
game.
sure. Yeah.
Rush is the dog.
Rush. Yeah, that's right. I haven't seen any of those yet, and I think that most, if not all of those, are showing up in 3.
Yes,
Okay.
there's like even additional control options that you'll
Mm.
have in 3.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
different items and things which are cool. So there's that. I've seen, even though we said, I think generally speaking, most people think of 2 as being the peak of the series. I've seen some chatter from Mega Man fans when I was reading about this game online last week of people saying, of real Mega Man fans, the hardcore fans,
Mm.
not really thinking this is the
Not
best one. A lot
us.
of them say like 3 or 4 are their favorites.
Sure.
So now I have no idea. Even if I remembered more
Yeah.
of 3, I could not speak to the differences you found.
Yeah, there's no way. I don't expect that. I mean, this it didn't like sour me on the Mega Man experience, right? Like,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, I mean, like it does still seem like it has that same design philosophy. Like, I'm not playing these levels and thinking like, oh, well, unfortunately, the first game you're designed to have this situation where once you figure it out, you can do it every time. And in this game, you're not supposed to do that. Like, I do think you're supposed to be able to do that in this game. It's just that they made the like more of that interest was placed on the platforming than before, and the platforming is less forgiving than it was before. And for somebody who is more proficient with the platforming, it's just a slight difference in presentation, but the overall design philosophy is the same. But for me, it just completely shifts the whole way that the game feels. And like like this doesn't make me think, oh well, they've just totally decided that Mega Man's going in a different direction, and since you said Mega Man's like this, now I'm fucked. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I think it'll probably be about the same, but like it just depends on exactly how that platforming shakes out. Like I don't know. It's gonna.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's a little bit like the Mario 3 problem too, where I'm like, they added all these power-ups that make it easier, and you're like, but I couldn't get any of them.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
So-
again, this is a thing which. I mean, in some ways, this is part of Mega Man's design philosophy, right? Like these fucking robot masters that are goddamn impossible to beat unless you have the right weapon. Well, you can't have the weapon until you beat one of them. So, like, there is
Mhm.
sort of this element in a lot of it that's like the game will get much easier once you do the thing that you need the easy. In order to get the thing that makes the game easier, you need to do the thing that you need it to be easier for. That's just how it goes. Well, that's that then. For some things, I can grind through that, and for other things, that's just the end of it. We're done, and that's specific to me. So we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, there are some sections where if you get the thing, they'll be easier before you have to do them, but you'll have to do a different hard
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I
We
mean,
also
really, it did just come down to like the very specific way in which the first one was set up made me want to lock in and work through the frustration, and in this one, it made me want to be like, nah, I don't know, whatever.
maybe 8 was just too many for you. You're like 8,
Eh,
6 I could conceive of, but 8,
no,
I'll
I could
never do it.
I could work through 8. It's just I mean, it really is. It's like I didn't even get to the Bubble Man thing because I'm just like, oh, these platforms, I'll never be able to get better than 50% off, even to the rest of the level. So what's the point in working on the rest of the level, right? There's no way I could get it better than 50% clear rate on this level, no matter how good I get at it, because I just can't do the platforming.
Yep, those five
Yeah, those 5
platforms.
fucking things, I never made it past them. I didn't. I mean, to be fair, that's probably the least I worked on anything in the game. But that's because it just happened to be at the end of all these other things that I was like, all right, well, I had to give up on that.
I want to put a button on this by also just saying that, even we've already devolved so much from the first game in terms of whether or not the robot weaknesses make any sense at all. Now, some of them do make sense, actually.
Mhm.
Bubble Man is good
Yep.
against Heat Man.
Yep, makes
Okay.
sense.
And Heat Man is good against Wood Man.
I would have guessed that. Yep. And I guess I did guess correctly that whatever the time stop weapon was is good against
Right.
Quick Man. I just
Yeah.
didn't notice it.
Yeah, so those do make sense. And that's about it. Airman is good against Crash Man. Crash Man is also good against Quick Man. He actually has 2 weaknesses. Bubble Man is weak to Metal. Metal Man is, by the way, weak to Quick Man and himself. When you fight Metal Man again at the end, the Metal Blade is by far the best weapon to beat him with.
Huh.
I don't know.
I could have seen him.
I don't know.
Maybe like fire melts him, or like air rusts, or water rusts him.
It does seem like they
Yeah,
just
no, none
drew
of these,
names
I
out of
don't
a
know.
hat. Like, how did they decide any of these things? Like, some of them I understand, like, okay, well, you gotta just
Crash.
choose. But, like, why is Metal Man weak to himself
Like
and Quick?
Like in a car crash, maybe the metal crumples, so maybe Crash is good against it. There are a lot of things that could have made sense. I don't see Quick though, and I don't really see himself either.
Well, why do some have 2 weaknesses and others only have
know.
1?
I don't know.
What is that? I don't know. Anyway, this is what we thought about the game, but let's head to Retro Review Corner so we can hear what people from the past had to say. Of course, we're going to start with one of our favorites, EGM. And they gave it 8s across the board, 4 8 reviews from EGM. They said, a worthy successor to the original Mega Man. This one is better than its predecessor in several ways. It's harder, the castle is more difficult, the power-ups, difficulty select, and password make this a great game. Some people had different opinions. A couple of these reviewers said it's a tad too easy and will probably be no big problem for seasoned players to beat. And another person also said the only negative is that it's easier than the first one. So they were disappointed that this game was too easy.
Yeah. Well, they didn't have a yellow devil this time to get stuck on.
Which I would say it is easier, but I don't even think it's that much easier. I guess it really is. It's just those Wily stages in the first game are a huge pain in the ass. But I don't think the gulf is that wide between the two personally. But I don't know. Maybe others. I mean, with those power-ups, I guess that helps a lot. We got a review here from Mean Machines. I got to tell you, some of these UK publications really feel like they're doing an intentional parody.
Is this why you're always picking them? Because they're funnier?
I don't know. They're just, the British magazines are preserved on the internet. They're easy to access.
Huh.
I don't know why. They're always one of the ones that come up. Maybe America just didn't have that many magazines in the 80s and 90s compared to the UK. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? Good question.
But their Mega Man 2 review opens up, Dr. Wily is a bit of a naughty chap, isn't he?
Jesus.
You know?
Eh.
But their comments here say, every time I play Mega Man 2, I just seem to like the game more and more. The programmers must have spent months racking their brains to come up with the mind-warping puzzles seen here. Ranks as one of the greatest NES games I've ever seen, with unsurpassed addictive qualities. Kind
Damn.
of funny since the actual development of this time fully was like 4 months.
Wait, this is a different magazine than the one that gave it straight 8s, right? That was the last one?
Correct. We're on
Okay,
to
okay, yeah, I was gonna say
Mean
this
Machines.
this can't that had to go with the last review, right? That's
Yes, that
not
wasn't for an 8.
if you're gonna you can't be like, "It's the greatest of all time," say it's an 8 out of 8.
Yes, although they did do that for, was it Mario World? One of them, they were like, this is one of the best games ever
Oh,
made,
yeah.
9. I think they
Yeah,
just
yeah,
don't
yeah.
give 10s, though. I think that's
Mm,
why.
yeah, that could be.
I think that's like, was their gimmick.
You gotta give something a 10 eventually,
Well, this is
maybe.
the thing. I mean, this is like how I treat my movie reviews on Letterboxd.
Mhm.
You just have to decide, like, oh, look, a 10 or a 5 doesn't actually mean it's perfect. It just means it's like as close to perfect as you can get. Because otherwise,
Yeah.
yeah, nothing is actually perfect.
Yeah,
but
like,
but
good
then
enough.
why do you
Yeah.
have the scale? Like that's why does it go that high?
Yeah, I mean, like, it makes like, I don't know, like, this is kind of what I'm doing with this scale where because I'm still not giving out 10s yet. I'm not opposed to giving them out. Like, I'm mostly when I'm giving out the 9s, I'm mostly just sitting here because I'm like, I could see myself finding a game that I want to give a higher score than this. To me, a 10 basically means, listen, there might be a game that's a little bit better than this, but if I could not give any game a higher score than this, that's not a big deal, right? Like if I say they're both great, then I don't need to say which one is better because they're both so fucking good. Like at that point, it's a 10, right?
Yeah, I agree. Anyway, Mean Machines gave it a 95%. They were like, buy this game, you must buy it. It's amazing. And then finally, I got a review here from Total, another British one. They said option to play levels in any order is great. Game structure is much friendlier than that in Mega Man. But for their negatives, they did say difficulty level is a bit patchy and death can be a bit too random, and that they did not think the checkpoints were well placed, which I kind of agree with, that there are some where it feels like that really should have been a checkpoint. I shouldn't have to do that part of the level again, but I do. And they only gave it an 83%, but they did say much better than Mega Man. So what are you going to do?
It is interesting because, like, I do have to take all of these reviews in the context of the original Mega Man didn't do so well, so a lot of these people might have been seeing Mega Man for like the first time, and I do think that in my score I am devaluing some things about this game I really like because I saw them already, right? Like. If this was the first Mega Man game I played, this would get a much higher score because it's like, well, look at Mega Man. Look at Mega Man himself. How
I
great is
wonder if
he?
that's true. I don't know if that's necessarily true. I wonder if there's
Hmm.
maybe almost even a similar thing might be happening with Mega Man that happened with you and the Mario franchise. Where by the time you played 4 Mario games, you went back and said, maybe I didn't even like the first Mario game and I was wrong.
Yeah, I mean, not so much in this one. I was in this one kind of thinking like, yeah, no, I remember the things I liked about the other Mega Man. I would rather be trying to grind out those levels harder than trying to grind out these. These are just not as interesting to me,
Well,
for sure.
you're stupid. All right. Let's head over and read some player mail. How does
Okay.
that sound?
Yeah, let's read some player mail.
Let's head over like we're moving on a physical set or something.
Wee. I'm moving over there.
We have some pretty interesting thoughts from our viewers and listeners this week in regards to our playing of Echo the Dolphin last episode,
Okay.
which you gave a higher score than me. You had more things to say about, although you gave it a similar score to that you did to Mega Man 2.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, Echo. I mean, I think we both would agree that probably Echo's not as good a game as Mega Man, but Echo gets the dolphin bump. Mega
You,
Man gets the same Mega Man again decrease, but Echo gets a dolphin bump. So it's that's just how the cookie crumbles.
however you need to rationalize it is fine. Well, we got an email here from Steve P. And Steve says, you're going to love the opening of this email.
I love it
Will is
already.
right.
Oh, Oh, oh my god. Oh, I'm gonna come.
Okay, come on. That's either going to get us a lot more or a lot fewer emails. I don't know, and I'm scared which.
They're both bad options, honestly.
Well, here's what you were right about.
Mhm.
Steve P says, very little of my memory playing this game, Echo the Dolphin, involved making some kind of progress. I never owned it, so it must have been a rental, or maybe I borrowed it from a friend. But either way, I didn't get very far. Yet I enjoyed wandering around the ocean, finding other creatures, using echolocation, and keeping an eye on my oxygen. The graphics were great, the feel of swimming was like no other game in a good way, and it was a surprisingly peaceful experience in a time when so much media focused on getting in your face or grossing you out. Nowadays, we have more cozy games than we can count. Echo is special because it was the exception. I played this in 1992, then Pilot Wings 64 in 1996. And between those, there was a huge gap in the just hang out in this cool virtual space vibe. This is something that maybe, yeah, I think this makes sense and can maybe clear up some of the difference in opinions over the years, because I do think my criticism of Echo was that it wasn't cozy enough.
Mhm.
That it was like, it was kind of at odds with itself in that it seemed like it wanted to be cozy, but
Yeah.
the actual gameplay I found difficult and frustrating. But if you're thinking back to 1992, then maybe for the time it actually was the coziest thing
Yeah.
you could find.
Yeah, it is. It's so interesting because it does feel like there are the roots of a cozy game in there, and they're all exclusively like in that first opening bit where you're just in the empty pool and there's nothing to do. Right? It's like, oh, you need to jump into the air before they abduct your pod. But before they abduct your pod, you can just be a dolphin swimming around. Isn't that cool? Right? It does feel like maybe they sort of realized the value in that but didn't understand what they had. So like there's that element to the game, but then of course you got to have a game that's difficult and hard, and we can't let people beat it. And like, why would anybody rent this game again to just swim around in the empty pool, right? Nobody would want to do that. It's got to be hard, so they got to beat it.
Yeah. I mean, there was
Yeah.
Sim City, right? That was probably the
Mhm.
closest other thing.
That's true. But like also that one is so that one's not that one's again, that one's like managing a spreadsheet. It's not about like just being in a cool virtual environment. Like you're not in that city.
Depends how you approach it.
Yeah, I guess that maybe more in the NES version where you got like a house and a guy.
Yeah, Super
Yeah.
NES.
Super NES, sorry.
Well, let me tell you something that's funny that might further make clear our two positions on the game. Every week I hear you talk to me about your experience with the game, but it's always a very different thing when I then go and actually watch your footage.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh, how did I mean, he said this, like he explained this to me and I heard it and understood it, but I didn't really understand until I actually watched him do it. But you spent a lot of time in that opening level, like not clearly not knowing, thinking you were supposed to progress somehow,
Mhm.
and you didn't understand what to do.
Yeah, that did happen at first.
And you spent a lot of time on the show talking about, oh yeah, this first level where you get to like, it's free and you can just run around and do whatever you want and have fun.
Mhm.
And when I played that level, I talked to no dolphins. I swam around for a second and then I was like, oh, this is cool. I'm getting used to the controls. And basically within 10 seconds, my first instinct was just to jump out of the water and then go down and then jump higher. And so immediately, I didn't even know
Mhm.
there was that big of a section to explore in that level
Mm.
because I immediately was like, well, what do I do? I'm a dolphin. I jump high. Oh, I get the game started.
Yeah.
So I didn't even
Yeah.
get that experience you're
Ah,
talking about at all.
see, that's almost too bad because one thing that I didn't give you in the footage was that every time or basically every time I restarted that game, like rather than passwording up to the point I was at, I replayed it just so that I could spend 5 minutes
Yeah.
swimming around in that pool. And I think I just didn't even bother recording those sections for the most part. Maybe once, or maybe I did it like once in like a full "This Is Everything" playthrough or something.
Yeah, I also don't really know. I mean, you got to level 3? Like, surely at that
Yeah.
point you would have not done that again.
It's still, I mean, it didn't take that long to get. I think by the time I was
Level 2
getting,
sucks. You wanted to do that spiral shell with the rocks again?
I mean, that is true. Level 2 does kind of suck, but yeah, I don't know. Then you miss out on the big open areas.
It's what you could do that, and you don't have to do that, and you could just do that and then use a password. Like,
That's
the
true.
two things don't need to be related.
That's true.
Anyway, just to really drive home like how different that experience was for me.
Right, yeah. No, I imagine if you just, like, password it every time because you're immediately getting to level 4 or 5 and it is not fucking worth it to do all of that again, and you never explored it. Yeah, I do think you maybe the, like, proto cozy game element of it wouldn't have stuck as hard for you.
Yeah, not the rest of the game is not cozy at
Yeah,
all.
no. Yeah, I mean, I hear you. I did watch through some of that, and yeah.
I was just watching you try to go into those rocks, and I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? Just jump
Yeah.
up in the air. What the
Yeah.
fuck's wrong with you?
Well,
Fucking
they said in the
moron.
manual they were like, watch the demo to learn how to play the game. And the first thing they show you in the demo is Echo pushing a rock around. So it's like, oh, those are the rocks. I'm supposed to like push them somehow. The fucking manual misled me.
Christ. Yeah,
I
sure.
shouldn't have read it.
Anyway, this does segue into the next email we have to read.
Hmm.
Oh, Steve P did also add in a comment, said, for more batshit crazy dolphin lore and psychic powers, look into the story for Hoshi Womiru Hito.
Hmm.
I don't know
Interesting.
if you,
I
I don't
don't
know if
know
you have any
this.
familiarity with
I don't
that.
think I do. This doesn't sound familiar.
It is apparently a 1987 RPG.
Okay, yeah, then I definitely don't know what this is.
And I guess it involves intelligent dolphins. It's like a cyberpunk dolphin game.
That sounds like my shit.
Okay. Next email comes from Wisp Paladin. Wisp writes, greetings, bad boys. You have been having a fascinating season so far, especially when a person binge listens to the entire thing. Though there are topics I would like to mention, many are weeks old at this point, well past mentioning. But one thing I have noticed throughout the season that I think that my listen to an episode a day binge has revealed
Hmm.
is the constant return to talking about playgrounds in games, or a place in the game where a player is given freedom to just play with the mechanics, with a greatly reduced risk of death and reduced worry about progression. And there's some bulleted examples here. The first level of Echo the Dolphin, giving a sense of wonder, and Will's amazing score, born from someone who didn't experience pipes or the machine, as Jonathan showed. Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, with the desperate need for practice arenas. Super Mario World's hidden level that is just a Yoshi egg, feathers, and flowers that you can bring into any level that Jonathan used to enhance his joy and success in the rest of the game. Contra and the Konami Code, making the game itself into a playground, compared to Galaxian Galagazevius without such a system, making each life feel precious. There has always been this interesting discussion about playgrounds in games, and allowing the player to just experience the game in a safer, more controlled manner, especially before difficulty and accessibility settings became commonplace. And I have enjoyed the evolution of the discussion that you two have shown throughout the season. Just a little bit sad that I have caught up with Yins. Wisp Paladin.
I rolled my
P.S.
eyes, by the way.
P.S. Fuck AI. Bulleted lists are great, and AI isn't going to appropriate them from me. Is that an AI does bulleted lists? I guess.
I think that's supposed to be one of the AI things. I
But
mean,
come on.
whatever. There's like a whole list of tells for AI, but like if you're using any of them, you're honestly stupid because you like you just look at it and be like, do you think that the thing that wrote this has a soul? Like if it is fully possible for a human to write something that looks like AI, and my response to that is like try giving a fucking shit about what you're writing or instead of just like regurgitating generic boring corporate fuck speak onto the page here. Like it's not like I hate it anyway. right? Like, I still hate it if you talk like that. Like, put any of yourself into it, and I'll just be able to tell. Like, at no point was I like, oh, wait, a bulleted list must be AI. I was like, no, this sounds like a human being talking to me, so it's not AI.
You know what, though? There are a suspicious amount of M dashes in this
Ooh,
email.
eh.
Yeah, I think Wisp Paladin might be AI. What's your thoughts and feelings on playgrounds in games? Does that resonate with you?
I mean, I'm happy that we seem to be like touching on some like big ideas in some sense in our discussions because I always come into these being like, I don't fucking know. I played a game. I'll just kind of talk about what happened and hopefully that's interesting or some shit. I don't. I feel like most episodes I enter being like it's probably going to be a bad episode on my part, but I guess we get to something interesting. That's good. I'm
Yeah,
glad
it
about
usually
that.
is.
Um, uh, it is. I I gotta think about it because there are for sure different elements to games in terms of like what makes a game. Like you in a modern sense, we don't see it as much in these retro games, but in a modern sense, you can have a game that is just entirely a playground. And you can also have a game that just has no playground, maybe more like a Tetris or something like that. Um, and then you can have these combinations in between. And it uh, yeah, I guess early on you're kind of experimenting with the idea of putting this in the game more as a way to test mechanics than as just an experience in and of itself. Like maybe people don't know yet that that's something worth having. And maybe the reason why it's so like I'm not sure how much of the reason why having that is valuable to me is because it lets me get better at the game and how much of it is just because it gives me a different avenue to enjoy the game. Like if the enjoyment of the game is in the difficulty, then it needs to be a very specific like it needs to hit, right? Like there's a specific type of thing that really engages me and makes me go, I want to get better. And then there's other types of things that just aren't engaging me in some way or other. And so if that's the only way to enjoy it, I can kind of be like, oh, well, fuck it, I guess. But if there's that playground, then maybe I enjoy that, even if I don't enjoy the difficulty. Like, because there's different avenues to go down. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it gives you a chance to play the game without constantly being told you suck, you're
Hmm.
dead, you suck, do it
Yeah.
again, fuck you.
Yeah. Which but like it's interesting, I guess what I'm trying to get at is that sometimes I like that, right? Like I liked when Tetris like just was like, "Oh, you fucked up, you're dead. You're not good enough. Get better." I like that.
Yeah.
But then there are other games where I don't like that.
It's
So,
certainly, I mean, Tetris is a very different, it's all
yeah.
dependent on game genre for sure.
Yeah, I mean, this is, I mean, you know what? This is sort of what I've been talking about this whole time. I liked grinding out the levels in Mega Man One. It encouraged, like, I got frustrated at Mega Man One in a way that made me want to get past it. And in this game, a lot of times in Mega Man Two, a lot of times I didn't even get frustrated because it didn't drive me forward. Right, but it's not like they were different in what they were doing. It's just like a very specific thing about how it was doing it.
Yeah. I think I have used the word playground specifically to describe Mario 3 and Mario World as well.
Hmm.
That to me, that's kind of how that's how I feel about the fun in those games is at their best when I'm loving the levels and loving life. I'm feeling like,
Mhm.
wow, this is like a jungle gym, like an obstacle course that's very fun for me to explore and maneuver on.
Yeah, when you make me
Um,
Mario Maker levels, it'll be difficult for you because you'll be like, part of the fun is like the little enemies I get to stomp, and I'll be like, if you put even one enemy in there, if it's possible to die in this level, it's not a playground. I will do
right.
it. If I can
Yeah.
die, I will.
You're the one replacing all the kids' playgrounds in real life with just like a big soft plastic piece of shit.
That's me. That's me in video games. In real life, no, 100% no. I'd be like, let those kids fucking break their bones. It's good for them.
Now, my theory, I don't know if it's a theory, but I think that the playground element becomes more prevalent in video games once they transition mostly to 3D.
Hmm.
And one of the biggest examples, I'm going to use it again, that I always think of it this way is Super Mario 64, because it was, for many people, the first 3D game they ever played, the first that style of 3D game. It was a huge deal. And I think this was a period where developers were realizing, maybe even sometimes to the game's detriment, that people didn't necessarily need the challenge or the whatever, like tight, linear, hard levels, because being able to move around an environment in 3D was so inherently exciting that that alone could make for something compelling. And there's like opening hub worlds and stuff where you just run around and you can't die and you just do whatever you want, because people were like, holy shit, it's crazy that there's a 3D thing moving around on my screen. And I feel like that was kind of the gateway to more games doing that type of thing.
I'm very curious for when we eventually get to Mario 64, because I before we started this podcast, I did play some Mario 64 in front of you, and I remember two things about that experience. One, you got really, really mad at me, but also
Me?
two, there were a lot of places where I could just kind of run around and like not worry about dying in a way that is not true of like almost any 2D Mario. So like I don't know, maybe it'll be more playgroundy. I'll be curious to see what I think when when I'm not just sitting down for one session in front of you. Like I wonder what it'll be like. I wonder what I'll think after doing all this.
As do I. As do I.
You never
It's
know with
definitely
me.
more playgroundy, that's for sure. I think even in Wolfenstein 3D, you kind of see a little bit of this, like just the act of being able to move around a 3D space. Like sometimes, like after you've cleared the enemies or whatever, it gives you more chances to just kind of move around. That feels fun.
Yeah,
so I don't
true.
know. That's my hypothesis there. Also got just a quick comment here from our friend Kat.
Kat from our last podcast.
Kat with a K, who commented on is going through the old backlog of episodes, and in the SimCity episode we mentioned the game Neverhood. I believe it's the Neverhood. Well, I'm sure I did.
You probably
I don't
did.
remember.
I'm sure you did.
I don't remember the context. I don't know why. But Kat wrote, hearing the word Neverhood just unlocked so many core memories in my brain. Holy shit, I've been trying to remember what the name of this game was for over 20 years because my dad let me play it on his computer when I was 5. Well, there you go. Then that's part of the public service we're providing, and maybe at some point we will play the Neverhood. It could be soon, to be honest, because it's a point and click game. I believe it's 1996, so it's not that far from our purview. It's a pretty weird, cool game. I think you'd like.
All right. Well, maybe we'll get it on the schedule. We'll see. Yeah, this is not a game I know anything about. I don't even remember the name. I guess I heard it. I must have heard it. It's nice to have some of the listeners from our old podcast. I thought we were down to only a few of them left. It's nice to get, there's a couple more than I thought maybe.
Nick, no last name. If you're listening, give us proof of life. Where have you been? We're keeping track of all of you. We know your schedules. We're keeping track of how often you email, whatever. We're keeping eyes on you.
Outside your house.
Yeah.
All that.
Okay. So that's the end of our player mail. Weird week. Fun week, weird week. If people want to let us know what they think about Mega Man 2, or if they have maybe some insight, maybe they think they've solved, or they can phrase in a way that would help me understand the difference between Mega Man 1 and 2 and how that affected me versus Will. I'd love to read some of that. Do you think Mega Man 2 is overrated, or do you think it is the pinnacle of the series? Stuff like that, right in. I mean, what's also interesting about the Mega Man series is that the first 6 of them are all on the NES. So you don't like...
That is a lot for one system. That's a lot.
You don't get like a bump in graphics or style or anything. Like those 6 games are all very similar to each other.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, because like
They
I
pumped them out
don't,
like Madden.
I don't necessarily need a bump in graphics, but a change in style could at least be, I don't know, like a little bit fresh. I don't know. We'll
Yeah.
see.
Like imagine if there were 6 Mario games on NES. Like what would it even be?
Yeah. But there's new characters coming. So
Yeah,
so
there is some
yeah.
new stuff. Also, please email us badwithgamespodcast@gmail.com or comment on YouTube. Give us a like or whatever the fuck if you want. Oh, by the way, we're also on TikTok now.
Oh yeah, you did that.
We are at Bad with Games on TikTok. So if you like the podcast and you want to see regurgitated clips of random episodes, you can relive some of those over on TikTok. Give us a follow.
I really hope we don't get any Zoomer listeners out of this.
You mean from
This
Metroid?
folly.
Remember the Zoomers in Metroid?
Yeah.
Subscribe to us on Patreon, patreon.com/badwithgames. $5 a month, you get our Bad with Everything episode every week. This week, we are continuing with K. April, and I will reveal now, we'll be reading another K. Applegate book. This time it's Crenshaw.
Pretty exciting.
Can't wait to read Crenshaw.
Same.
Next week on the podcast, good news. We are finally making another return trip to the arcade.
Yeah! My
And
favorite!
We've got quite a trio this week, next week.
A trio?
It's going... Yes, that's right, a trio. I may have played around with our schedule a little bit without telling you.
I only remember a duo. Oh, man.
The duo has changed. The trio has changed. Essentially, we're going to be playing 3 games that you might qualify under the maze game category of games. Leading off with Ms. Pac-Man. Then we will also be playing Dig Dug. Both of those are from Namco. And finishing off with sort of a different company's take on Dig Dug, Mr. Do. These are 3 arcade games, all of which came out in 1982. 2 of which are Namco games, and we're going to be diving into those.
Okay. Exciting.
Should be fun.
It's fun. Yeah, I think it'll be a good time.
Fun. All right.
You know
Stay
how
tuned
I am
for
with
that.
arcades.
Yeah, we love them over here. Thanks for listening, everyone. We love you. Gamers out!
Gamers out.